LORRAINE Spencer here. This is the P.O.C, Pattern of Conduct, real-time documentation of the state of California's criminal pattern of conduct of federal stalking in concert with the people of the state of California in violation of existing federal law, that is 18 U.S.C. section 2261A, subsection 1 and subsection 2. This is ongoing documentation that is specifically gathered following my release from kidnapping by this entity that was ceaselessly monitoring in violation of 18 U.S.C. and in violation of Title 15 and in violation of the Prison Rape Elimination Act, as I was subject to the same exact criminal pattern of conduct while kidnapped by this entity seeking to conceal this criminal system that I am documenting and publishing and exposing on the venue of the internet, where I am also subject to the criminal pattern of conduct, and understand that kidnapping is the pattern of conduct that is criminal obstruction of justice, as the entity seeks to avoid prosecution and to avoid documentation and exposure for engaging in this criminal system. The people of the state are the vicarious aspect of the entity. They are engaging in federal stalking as I am kidnapped by the state inside of the state facilities, all right? And they are fully engaging in kidnapping upon criminal summoning. So this is the entity from beginning to the end engaging in the criminal acts of the federal stalking and the acts of criminal obstruction of justice. This is also documentation on the venue of the internet engaging in the criminal pattern of conduct via obstruction of justice, and this is in any way reducing or removing the ability to publish the ongoing documentation of the state's criminal pattern of conduct, which is waging an ongoing threat to my life as I remain subject to this criminal system. And this is the criminal pattern of conduct on the venue of the internet, okay? And that is the totality of what I have documented since release. I was kidnapped from June 18, 2021 from third-party facilitating venue of the Ontario Museum of History and Arts, where the Ontario Police Department were monitoring, and this in conformity to the ongoing wealth of documentation that I have already published, specifically revealing the Ontario Police Department engaging in monitoring and kidnapping, which was via the assertion of a fictitious warrant pursuant to a fictitious prosecution. That is the people of the state of California v. LORRAINE Spencer, case number Mary Wendy Victor 2000640. I was subject to kidnapping pursuant to this fictitious prosecution, documentation on the facility cameras everywhere that I was inside of the facility of West Valley, located at 9700 Etiwana Avenue in the city of Rancho Cucamonga, California, and at the state facilitating venue of the Rancho Cucamonga Superior Court, located at 8303 Haven Avenue in the city of Rancho Cucamonga, and I was subject to federal stalking ceaselessly at the jail, at the courthouse, in the courtrooms, okay? The same exact pattern of conduct ceaselessly underway. The kidnapping serves obstruction of justice, and that this is kidnapping that I endured from June 18th, 2021 up until August 16th, 2021. This is the P.O.C. That's light activity and amplified audible activity. Flashing light across this museum as I'm sitting on the ground. All right, and just as I've shown in the video, this is P.O.C, but I just want to be clear. This is literal flashing light moving across this wall as I'm sitting down on the ground at the museum. And the state begins this train activity the moment that I stop streaming online. I've been looking at YouTube videos. That's called stalking with activity, as I engage in a new activity. It's 12:02 a.m. on Monday, September 6, 2021, and I want to document the state has been engaged in ongoing use of its sirens and ongoing helicopter activity, and this train activity turning up the volume substantially loud. It's already amplified activity. The state engages in exaggerating that amplified activity as though it wants to divert my attention away from watching YouTube videos, right? I'm dealing with this is demonic, okay? I'm publishing documentation, and I also engage in what is disregarding, essentially, and the state is just sounding sirens and helicopter activity as though it's seeking attention or something. This is, I just want to document what the state has been engaged in for the past couple of hours. And right now, this is P.O.C, and this is acting via the Amtrak train station. Again, this is not an Amtrak train. This is a train that is used on the tracks, and the state literally just runs a train back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, and creates light activity because this is flashing light in the same way that the state fills the Starbucks, for example, with its directed light. This is directed light that is used as a means of flashing against this wall as a train is in motion, as the state is amplifying the sound of a train. Okay, that's P.O.C. Because there is no light over there that is reaching this distance, hitting the wall, in the same way that headlights from Euclid Avenue Holt Boulevard are not reaching to the south end. That's the same state. That's the state's same exact directed light. It is 12:04 a.m. The state has been engaged in that very conduct, that's stalking with activity, but I just want to document the state was doing the same with sirens and helicopter activity. It is Monday, September 6, 2021, and it's 12:04 a.m. That's P.O.C. Plane activity, 12:06 a.m. Flying right here over the Emporia Street, making a U-turn in alignment to me as I am sitting at the museum. So the state is flying in direct alignment. Flashing light on that plane. P.O.C. It is currently 12:17 a.m. and the police department are stalking in relevant positions, sounding sirens as they are monitoring what I am doing, which is publishing my podcast for September 6th. And at 12:13 a.m., at the same time that I publish it, and again, this is federal stalking, this is monitoring on the venue of the internet with communication devices as they're stalking relevant position, and I am currently, just like I described, the audible activity is used via train. The state is flashing directed light on this wall, and I remain molested with directed light. The Ontario police are monitoring right now, and the sirens are loud. They are stalking in relevant position right now and sounding sirens with simultaneity to my internet activity. And what I did right now is I published both my podcast at 12:13 a.m. and right now at 12:17 a.m. filtered that onto my website and sounding their sirens in order to obstruct the ability to filter it onto my website. All right, and that's an ongoing, vigorous effort by the entity that doesn't want me to publish my podcast on my website. This is what they do. This is what they're doing at the library all day long, trying to obstruct not only access on the computer, okay, made up a rule because they don't want me to be on the internet all day long, so they just made up a rule. We don't want people on the computers all day long. You'll be here all day. The library is open all day, okay? And secondly, it was not a problem until I sat at the computer. I used the computer like you're supposed to and are able to. But because of what I am doing, they literally created a policy, and that is restriction of time while they're engaging in federal stalking with the same Ontario Police Department that is stalking in relevant position right now, and the sound of what is very loud sirens speaking to the closeness with which the police are stalking right now. Just like I spoke to before, this is what they were doing for the past couple hours, just sounding helicopter and sirens, all right? So now that I'm publishing my podcast and onto my website, the police department is still stalking. They don't stop, and these are demons that I'm dealing with, engaging in an ongoing effort of federal stalking, trying to obstruct justice, all right? It's 12:19 a.m., and that is P.O.C. Oh, okay, let me make this note. The sirens stop as I start recording, okay? And I've already established that the Ontario police are stalkers, so I don't have to make it up about planes stalking and helicopter stalking. The state sounded sirens at 12:13 a.m. and again at 12:16 a.m. Again at 12:17 a.m. and at the moment that I start recording, the sirens stop. All right, so let me be specific with regard to the audible activity creation, because that's what the use of the train is for. That's what the sirens accomplish. That's what the helicopter and plane activity accomplish. And that's what the police are doing right now, being the stalkers that they are. They're demon-possessed stalkers monitoring what I'm doing on the internet. It's 12:20 a.m. That's P.O.C. That is called amplification of audible activity as the state is hovering over the museum located at 225 South Euclid Avenue. It's 7:10 a.m. and the state's light source, which is the fake sun, is right here over the property as well. All right, this is monitoring. It's P.O.C. the state stalking, following immediately with another plane. Seconds later. 7:12 a.m. (8 AMJ 985 8U LU 170). Group stalking with light, using their vehicle, parked in front of the bus stop of the Omnitrans, illegally parked, sitting at the bus stop in relevant position to me as I'm at the crosswalk of Euclid and Holt. That's light activity. That's the people stalking with light, and these third parties that I just identified are monitoring with that group stalker in alignment to me. Okay, 5TDC 954. Amtrak bus number 49417. After there are no Amtrak trains on that train station, they're engaging in the P.O.C. 7 USW 533. All right, aware of the fact that I identified them and they are going to be prosecuted, monitoring with the Ontario police, the same demon-possessed stalkers who are hiding around in back streets, sounding their sirens as I was publishing my podcast at 12 o'clock in the morning. 7W PE 893. 6V and BO 65. 34921E2. 8PUY 843. That is Amtrak, says the Pacific Surfliner proceeds from Holt Boulevard to drive north on Euclid Avenue, past that group stalker that is sitting in relevant position, loitering in relevant position at the Omnitrans bus stop. (6446772). I think I can go. 10629W1. This is audible activity. Pushing a grocery cart under the fake sun. Or in relevant position while the state is stalking with its light source, and the people of the state stalk using their vehicles as light, just like you see just like I am letting you know the group stalker is doing at the Omnitrans bus stop. (89261D3). 6CRY 536. 8MTP001. And that's M as in Mary. 8MTP. (8TEZ 559). Impossible light activity as these demons drive by. 6PLX 630 8D1275, I believe, substantially similar. And the fake sun is no longer over the museum. It is directly in alignment with me as I proceed to walk west on Holt Boulevard. All right, and this is the direct evidence against Southwest Airlines. That environment is maintained because they are engaging in federal stalking, just like every other third party using their vehicles. 5KSM853. 5KSM853. That's amplified audible activity. Looks like an Asian male. And he is doing that under the fake sun. That's a demon-possessed actor. All right, 8TBP931. 7NBS441. (89352S2). That's on track. On track meaning ONTRAC, the courier. 8SHL 972 or 972. An impossible light activity off of that vehicle as they are driving east on Holt Boulevard. The fake sun is in front of their vehicle, and backwards, shooting off of the passenger side of their vehicle backwards toward my direction, is white colored impossible light lines, just like you saw with the Ontario police vehicle that was stalking at the Ontario Library, over the Family Community Library. 8WNW429, and that's the marker of demonic possession while they're engaging in federal stalking. It is 8:24 a.m.
And by the way, there is absolutely no light source over 706 West Holt, over the Ontario Village Shopping Center, not even in that direction. It's behind me, moving west as I move west. All right. And like I've continued to establish, as I am, wherever it is that I go, that's where the light source is. That's why at this time, 24 hours ago, it's already over Starbucks. 06437P1, 8CQZ311, 7LTJ. Can't really see the rest of that one. And that's why it remained over that physical property all day long. And that's also why you have the directed light, which is impossible light activity, speaking to what is demon possession of every single last person monitoring, not just inside of the Starbucks, but that's where I was isolating the P.O.C. because that's where I am. And that directed light is the direct evidence against those third parties and that third party facilitating venue, 6WJF 860. 6RZD073. E61904. 5KVV018. 6JPU628. 8ETN805, light activity and possible light activity as well. 6XYT or 6YTX. Can only see that one. 358, I believe. 8E45583. 6SMR805. 8MLY444, excuse me. And the state's fake sun is hovering over my head as I continue to walk west, nowhere near over the museum as I clearly captured it. And impossible light activity, all these demons engaging in ongoing terrorism as they are in their vehicles, and I identify what are demons. And the state is also at the same time moving impossible light that is reaching backwards toward me. Absolutely satanic. And that's terrorism, each and every one that I'm continuously identifying. 7MAB 706. 84863G2, 8UCZ006, 2TQN727, 7VBJ084, 422L71, that's a Vegas plate, 4ZKZ415. Light activity, 6DLL576, that's an African-American male. 4YKV722. Identifying third parties parked at third party facilitating venue, the Vine Apartments at Vine Avenue and Paul Boulevard. State's fake sun is over that venue. They are monitoring and they are engaged in the same system, and doing so inside of private residences. And again, where the state's pattern of conduct is underway, this is what I'm stating. There is no such thing as a private residence whereby anyone is escaping that criminal prosecution, that federal prosecution, engaging in the state's and facilitation of the state's criminal pattern of conduct of federal stalking. Stalking by an entity, all right? And your home or wherever it is you think that you have an exception to be, you don't. It's called a third party facilitating venue. That's where you're at, because the target individual is being monitored. License plate 33227U2, 6EHN467. And like I said, that light activity is the direct evidence against it. You don't have any form and you will be prosecuted. There is no shelter. In the same way that their terrorism is ceaseless, that prosecution is going to be ceaseless. 8NBK698. Fake sun over my head. I'm at the intersection of Vine and Hope Boulevard. 0699582. Absolutely ridiculously impossible light activity moving all around that vehicle as it drives toward the fake sun that is hovering over me as I walk west on Hope Boulevard. 4TUE833. Demon possessed stalker. Okay? 8EFG766, demon possessed stalker. 5JUY976, demon possessed stalker. 8BJW259, demon-possessed stalker. Stalking with the state that is keeping a fake son over me. They are stalking together. This is demon possession. Paper plate BK59Z92. That's a paper plate on a white pickup truck, and they're on camera right now at 8:30 a.m. All right, loitering in relevant position, painting the building. Yeah, I'm talking about you, Satan. And the license plate on this vehicle. (79845R2). Painting over the gator glass that's on Holt Boulevard and Vine Avenue. 7KKM793. One two seven five 4A3, I believe. 6 SOC 419. 064 R62. That's a Vegas plate. And again, in front of their vehicles, and as though it is shooting off like a laser, white fluorescent colored impossible light activity. Just it's almost like I've described it before. If you've ever read a comic book, and say like an old school Batman comic book, when they jump in the sky and they do a kick, and you see like the bubble of communication letting you know that there's action going on, like pow, and then you see these lines speaking to what is action that's ongoing, but you can't see it because it's stationary, but that's why they draw it. That's what it looks like as their vehicles are driving by. Lines around their vehicles. 06621Y1. It literally is demonic, and it's ridiculous when you're breaking it down what the state is doing. 8SMT884, but that's what it looks like. It looks like it's out of a comic book. If you see one of those comics and they jump up in the sky and they kick somebody or they're punching somebody, and it's supposed to be indicating action, and so you see like the bubble that says pow, and then you see all these lines speaking to what is the creation of impact as they're punching while you're reading a comic book. That is the same sort of visual image. The state is doing this with light while cars are driving by. And an inconsistent, this is light that is also coming while the state is driving. For example, the Ontario police, the fake sun is hitting the passenger side of his car. And so you have what is lines of light, just like you would see in a comic book, and that's supposed to be bouncing off of his car, off the passenger side of the car, backwards toward me while he is driving by. 12659C3, which is not the activity of sunlight. 8T12475. All right, and that first license plate that I just read, my crossing the street is a means whereby, this is the form whereby he's engaging in light activity, turning on his hazards, or he or she turning on their hazards. I want to be clear. 4MOX186. They're not being courteous, they're not being polite, they're not looking out for my safety. They are monitoring, which is a threat to your life, and they are using everything for a means of seeking to appear outwardly like they're doing something else. Oh, I'm letting you cross the street, so I'm going to turn on my hazards. I'm just breaking down what they are doing. 8WTM135. And so you have where actually, if the sun is hitting the passenger side of your vehicle, a shadow, if anything, is going to result from the driver's side, because you are entering into light. That speaks to the trajectory of light. Sunlight is not bouncing off of your car onto the asphalt, stretching onto the sidewalk. That is called impossible light activity, and it looks like the things that you have observed, like I've read in a comic book, as the state creates these lines of light around. And let me be clear, it's demonic. 7A58990, I believe. Plain activity as that group stalker crosses path and the fake sun is hovering over me. It's absolutely demonic. It is demonic. It is 8:34 a.m. Amtrak engaging in the P.O.C. while I'm at 646 West Holt under the fake sun at 646 West Holt, the Stater Brothers. License 8TZF788. Stater Brothers employee comes out and pulls a shopping cart, just pushes it in the store. This is surrounding with noise as I enter onto the grounds of the venue. The state's fake sun is over me at the venue at 8:35 in the morning while I'm standing at the entrance doors. The state's fake sun at this same central location over me in its zenith above me later in the afternoon. In the evening, also engaged in, like I documented, inside of Starbucks while I was across the street from this venue. The state also engaged in as though the sun is setting and that setting sunlight is reaching into the depths of the grocery store. Okay, documented all of that already. This is P.O.C. Amtrak engaging in ongoing federal stalking while I'm at this venue. 7SHK511, 8TZF788 is a group stalker sitting in the parking lot right here in front of me. This is a male with glasses, a large nose, facial hair, a mustache, and a beard. He's driving a blue hybrid Toyota. Impossible light activity shooting off of his vehicle while the fake sun is hitting the passenger side. It's in front and hitting off of the side like a laser. That laser light activity. This is P.O.C. It is 8:38 a.m. All right, I just documented what is, again, that combining presence, like I stated, the state's fake sun present with the directed light, which the state is aiming in multiple directions, okay? And also, and this is what I've documented, the state's directed light in direct conflict with the position of its fake sun. The state is not creating light over me and on the surfaces from the source of that light source. The state is aiming directed light in all manner of direction, including under structures, in order to aim light in what is supposed to be the shade, where I have multiple shadows under that shaded area. That's exactly what I just showed right now, under the covered area of the Stater Brothers. Impossible for any sunlight to be under that. That's exactly why it was built. And you're looking at what is the state's fake sun right there next to me. Direct evidence against the venue, direct evidence against Starbucks, direct evidence against the people, all right? The state's pattern of conduct is already established. The state is already prosecuted. Stater Brothers walking outside, grabbing a grocery cart in order to create noise. That is the context to what they are doing. It's an intentional environment, and that is intentional conduct by third parties. It's 8:40 a.m. That's P.O.C. All right, I want to document. I'm standing near register number 1, where Marisol is working. And as I walk through from the deli toward the restroom area, toward register number 1, the state is aiming directed light. So that's the same disco light, walls of light, thank you. Just like I documented inside of Starbucks, okay? That's the impossible light activity, and let me also speak to what I just documented, that directed light outside, and where you're seeing my shadows on the brick wall underneath the covering of the Stater Brothers grocery store. That is the same sexually violent threat that the state engaged in at Starbucks that you see on the wall between the bathrooms. That wall is on the opposite side of the restroom. Okay, and that's exactly how you would analyze it. That's exactly how the ordinary target individual is going to perceive that threat as well. All right, letting them know that they're being monitored. That ongoing environment is existing everywhere. Where also they will be using the restroom and engage to that invasion of privacy by entity. Okay, where they are all together engaging and monitoring you while your underwear is down. I just want to make sure that I speak to that. That's also how it is legally relevant. It's 8:42 a.m. All right, it is currently 8:49 a.m. I'm going to document these group stalkers. The state is shooting light like a laser inside of the entrance as I walk past it at the deli. Third parties provide no form, but they're acting in concert. So while their doors are being opened and closed, light is shooting, that's audible activity under the fake sun, all right? That's the shopping cart, that's Stater Brothers. And you have what is the light that is shooting like a laser inside of the entrance, absolutely impossible, and it's demonic activity. That's terrorism at Stater Brothers, okay? 7SHK511, 7SVN265, 6TMU158. My shadow is upright on a brick wall, feet away from me, and I have more than one of them while these group stalkers surround 4XRG567. This is terrorism by the people. They are absolute stalkers. All right, just wanted to document some group stalkers. As I enter and exit, Stater Brothers engaging in terrorism and maintaining audible activity and directed light under the fake sun and directed light. Understand, those are two different sources. I just wanted to get those license plates because the people act in concert with the state. And even though it is absolutely retarded, because opening and closing a car door doesn't result in laser light, in the same way hitting the Ontario police vehicle, hitting on the passenger side of a car does not result in laser-like conduct, meaning white light spreading across the asphalt and the sidewalk, reaching over even to touch me. That's demonic activity, and it's absolute asininity as well. It's like not even intelligent. These are just demons, and I'm letting you know what they're actually engaging in. It's federal stalking, and these are demons acting together. So I went out to get those license plates. They're stalking in the parking lot, stalking with the state that's engaging in terrorism. And understand, the Stater Brothers is not acting ignorantly. Surrounding with all manner of noise and a deliberately maintained environment is the federal stalking conduct. This is how the entity acts together. All right, it's 8:51 a.m. and that's what I documented on video. You see my magnified size of shadow standing upright on a brick wall underneath a shaded walkway of the grocery store while they happen to be present and light is shooting all around in an absolutely unnatural way. As they are opening and closing their doors, that's a third-party marker. That's what third parties do all the time. All right, so it is 8:51 a.m. For ZKD793. And as, again, impossible light activity, this is the demonic conduct as they are stalking in the path with light under the state's light source, all right? They're maintaining presence and they're maintaining noise under the state's fake sun that is remaining over me, and as the state is maintaining its directed light all over the surfaces around. And so it's 9:05 a.m. Excuse me, it is 9:05 a.m. So like you saw, and like I show inside of Starbucks, I show everywhere that I go, actually. But let's give the latest example, what you just saw at Stater Brothers. That is the exact same light that the state is shooting inside. And by shooting, I mean shooting. It is light that is literally just coming out of nowhere. Like, that's why I describe it like an arcade of lights, like a carnival of lights, with just lights just coming out of nowhere and just shooting into the sky space while I'm in the store, going through the door of the entrance of the store. I'm walking through the store. You're seeing light that is moving around at the upper portion of the store. It's like above my head. That's the state aiming light. And like I've stated, just coming out of the atmosphere out of nowhere. A third party opening up and closing their door is no form for that. That's not sunlight. That's the state's engineered light. And second of all, it is concerted presence. That incredible occurrence happening while you are in relevant position is called the P.O.C. 7ELL864 monitoring again today. Okay, lights sweeping across the sidewalk onto the shade as that third party group stalker drives past in the parking lot. That same impossible light shooting like a laser off of the vehicle as the fake sun is hitting the front of that vehicle. I'm at Starbucks. It is currently 9:06 a.m. What I was going to describe is in the same way that you saw my shadow is standing upright and I have multiple shadows underneath that shaded area where the grocery store, the covering of the entrance of that store is. Not only is my shadow upright, not only is my shadow enlarged in size, not only do I have multiple shadows, that is speaking to the trajectory of light. This is common sense, but I find it necessary to break down what is common sense. Where the sun is over you, that's going to create a shadow that is on the ground because the sun is a light source that is above you. The actual sun, okay, which is a star. And if you ever see it, the sun is in the sky, it aims light downward, and that's why your shadow is on the ground. Your shadow is not upright on walls around you. You do not have multiple shadows from sunlight, okay? If I need to break that down for a third party that is in denial, engaging in nothing but audible activity creation and or criminal obstruction of justice on the venue of the internet, while what are minions denying what is direct evidence of the state's criminal pattern of conduct. That is common sense. Okay, you are looking at when my shadow, as I showed inside of Starbucks while I'm standing in front of the entrance, and the bar is on the opposite side of the room. I'm looking at the bar area where they're creating drinks. My shadow is upright. My shadow is not on the ground. My shadow is upright, and as I'm moving my arm, which is what I captured in the video, that is the state aiming light horizontally through the glass doors, in addition to aiming light onto the floor as it gets taller and taller. That's what you saw in the morning, and then that's what you saw in the evening as the state aimed its directed light through the opposite direction. And you saw my shadow as I put my arm up, and you see it on the floor, and then you see the third party shadow at the top of the wall while he walks past. That is not sunlight, okay? And I find it necessary to explain that, to remind, but I don't think I really need to, but I'm just breaking down what it is you're looking at. Not only is that the state's engineered light, that's the directed light, that is what I'm speaking to, that's the impossible light activity, that's what I'm speaking to. That is the hallmark that coincides with the state's light source. That is not coming from the state's presence of its light source. The state's light source uses that as the means literally of keeping me as the center of the universe amongst all of the third party and the state that is monitoring, all right? It's almost as though it's a marker, like I'm here and that's where the fake sun is, and at night that's where the fake moon is, because that's not the moon that is over me all the time at night, where the same fake sun is during the day, where I am. No, that's not the moon. So you have what it, and then you have it maintaining that same central presence in alignment with me wherever I go, regardless of where I go, okay? That's the state's pattern of conduct. And what the state is doing with light is revealing what is demonic. Not only serving criminal monitoring, it is revealing what is demonic. Not only speaking to the government that's engaging in that demonic conduct, but the people of the state that are engaging with the state. All right, this is very rampant and very broad, vast demonic activity. All right, so this is revealing what is demon possession amongst a people. All right, that's why that environment is there. It is speaking to what is occurring with every single last person, especially as I document them. I'm identifying a demon-possessed actor who happens to be monitoring in a private space, who happens to be monitoring as a police officer or an ambulance operator or a fire department personnel, or you're talking about a demon-possessed actor who happens to work at the courthouse, a demon-possessed actor who happens to be a sheriff with the San Bernardino Sheriff's Department, a demon-possessed actor who is working at the grocery store, a demon-possessed actor who is driving past me on the street. It is indiscriminate. All right, this is revealing what is demon possession, all right, and it is vast. The ongoing environment is maintained because these are demons that are engaging in the system. As I have stated from the beginning, this is not just federal stalking. As I have described the pattern of conduct, you are talking about what is a demonic targeting system. It is absolutely demonic, and that environment is directly revealing that, this abnormal light conduct, okay? It is abnormal because you are looking at what are abnormal people, failing in any way to maintain a sense of normalcy. You don't have a sense of normalcy inside of Starbucks while you have this demonic environment that is ongoing. That is the truth about Starbucks, and I am revealing it to you. I don't have to make up anything. You're looking at the light activity yourself. Your shadow is not supposed to be upright on objects, having multiple shadows, having light appearing where you have a sun over your literal building all day long, light moving across the ceilings and the walls. And under no plausible, there is no excuse for that, all right? There is no explanation. That's the revealing of satanic activity, and that is Starbucks making itself known and affiliated with that, which is terrorism, while they are engaging in federal stalking. Understand, it's not separate, it is directly tethered, and everything else also that I have documented is going toward the prosecution of Starbucks, because what I document at the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department, guess what? It's evidence against Starbucks. It's an ongoing criminal pattern of conduct. The crime by the entity does not stop, and all of it is serving to prosecute the totality of that entity. So they have a field day with this demonic environment. They're going to be prosecuted for that, and it is tethered to what was occurring at every other place that I am going, because you're looking at what is ongoing documentation of an ongoing criminal act. It is 9:12 a.m., and that I am at third-party facilitating venue, Starbucks. And the people are maintaining presence inside of the venue. They are present on behalf of the state, whose fake sun is over this address, who followed me from where I was at the museum at 225 South Euclid Avenue with its light source, via the Ontario Police Department and via the people of the state who are stalking vicariously in concert with that entity, maintaining that environment of what is directed light for purposes of monitoring with communication devices, as they are all maintaining noise in that intentionally maintained environment. You are stalking with the state. You're doing so while you're wearing the brand of Starbucks at that cafe, all right, which is nothing but a third-party facilitating venue. This is engagement in terrorism by this venue, and the state is engaging in ongoing aiming of directed light onto the ceilings, onto the walls, while the people of the state are maintaining and patrolling via the drive-through and maintaining presence in the parking lot and maintaining and that is patrolling, because that's what you're looking at. You're looking at relevant positioning, you're looking at stalking with light, and you're looking at stalking with activity, and that's P.O.C. All right, engaging in terrorism with the state, that is license plate 8MJR169, stalking via the Starbucks drive-through. License 7CMT995. It's 9:14 a.m. All right, 9:15 a.m. I just captured video of what is my shadow as I am being molested with light inside. Understand that is also the sexual violence of the entity, molesting and touching. And Starbucks is engaging in that. They're in here creating and stalking with noise. These are demon-possessed stalkers, stalking with noise, all right? Their outward appearance is preparing coffee drinks while stalkers fill the drive-thru, while stalkers fill the cafe and fill the parking lot and surround in traffic and in the nearby venues. And they are engaging in molestation with that state. You are a sex offender in that regard as well. And what I'm showing is my shadow appearing at the ceiling in the corner, the west corner of the cafe, okay? In addition to, and I'm showing you what are all different methods of directed light: the dynamic light moving around, the stationary light that is on the floor, and the directed light, like I stated, it remains at all times, in addition to the fake sun. Let me not ask that question, because there is no vantage point of any sunlight, and this is what I'm stating. The directed light coexists with the presence of the fake sun. That light activity is impossible to be explained by, in addition to light bouncing off of a ceiling, because the state is literally doing that. And then as I document it, and this is the demonic behavioral pattern, as this entity has literally been caught red-handed, okay? And that's what it is, because when I first began documenting, let me be clear, the state was engaging in an ongoing, diligent effort to try to hide what I am documenting, what I was speaking to, all right? But I consistently documented it, and I've been consistent in my allegations, a specific pattern of conduct underway. And the demonic behavioral pattern, this is the arrogant psychopath, the sex offender, the kidnapper, and the stalker, as it is caught red-handed in what is absolutely inexplicable conduct. No other explanation, and I'm telling you why. Not only because this is demonic, this is speaking to demon possession, of indiscriminate demon possession, and what is federal stalking, because that's the crime that you're going to prosecute, in addition to what is terrorism and what is sexual violence by an entity, all right? So you have what is my shadow appearing on a ceiling inside of a Starbucks, after a fake sun remains over my head at 225 South Euclid Avenue and is documented remaining far from this venue where it would nowhere be seen over this location. Certainly that light activity not occurring under any circumstances. Whether the fake sun is directly over this building, the actual sun was over this building, all right? So I just want to be clear on that. And that's the same for every other method of directed light. It's nothing but a method of directed light. That's what I'm telling you. My shadow being upright, my shadow being enlarged in size, my shadow being multiplied around me. All right, directed light moving around, directed light stationary on the surfaces around the state's fake sun over me. These are enhanced light tactics. It is entirely demonic, and it is serving federal stalking under 18 U.S.C. section 2261A. And as the state engages in more of it while the psychopath monitors, they're going to be prosecuted for that, and that's what you clearly see in the video. All right, so this is speaking to what is an impermissible threat while the entity is monitoring the documentation. That is unlawful, and that is an intensification. That serves for intensification of that prosecution, okay? And that is the pattern of conduct, by the way, okay? Because you're dealing with demons. Demons who continue to stalk and sexually violate while you are monitoring. So you're talking about what is inherent to policy, all right? I'm speaking to what is necessary as policy. A very, very intense federal prosecution. And that is, it's 9:19 a.m. and that's P.O.C. All right, the state is touching with its directed light that you see. Molestation of my person. So this is documentation of that ongoing entity engaging in sexual violence together. 9:22 a.m. Group stalker is on camera exiting the venue. He's engaged in sexual violence as well. It's P.O.C. All right, sex offender in the drive-thru. License plate 7WWV475. Sex offender in the drive-thru. That is license plate. I think 7DQP398. All right, they are one entity acting together. Yeah, 7DQP 398. Alrighty, license plate 6JVS 204. And the state molests with light as I open up videos. Like, the state doesn't want me to publish information, so they engage in sexual violation as it monitors what I do on my phone. 64128Z1. And I took pictures of the group stalkers that filled the venue. These are demons, all right, while this light activity is ongoing, and as they are molesting me together, maintaining relevant position, and doing so with simultaneity to what I'm doing on my cell phone, which is opening up my videos, and I'm going to upload them to YouTube. That's the state's behavioral pattern, engaging in more so of it in order to... The entity engages in this sort of conduct. It is federal stalking conduct. It's monitoring. But the state would rather me focus on right now rather than publish my documentation. So as I open up my videos, and I'm going to publish them on the internet, you have sex offenders that are being documented, acting with the state that's molesting with absolutely unnatural and impossible light activity, the absence of coincidence. You'll be prosecuted as a sex offender acting as the government, all right? That which is a sex offender that has yet to be identified under federal law. So that's at 9:31 a.m., and that's ongoing as I open up my videos that I documented of the state stalking with its engineered light, all right? The direct evidence against the people of the state occurring inside of the third-party facilitating venue, Starbucks. It's P.O.C. All right, 9:58 a.m. I'm providing you another example. It's an ongoing example of demonic activity. These are malicious actors, the people of the state. These are demon-possessed stalkers, all right? Those entering inside of the venue, buying coffee, stalking with the state, preparing coffee, working at the venue, stalking with the state. They enter, and the customers, these are demon-possessed stalkers, okay? This is demon possession. I'm letting you know their conduct. They enter in the venue as the state is molesting my person with what is absolutely unnatural light activity. They're walking in at the same time. That's not coincidence. These are demons that are acting together, all right? And you're also looking at what I took a picture of is the directed light streaming across the ceiling. Oh, that is also present while you see them look outwardly appearing like they're just buying a drink. These are demons, okay? You're witnessing demonic activity at Starbucks. This is sexual violence at Starbucks. These are demons that are engaging in sexual violence inherent to the terrorism and federal stalking that they're engaging in together. This is 9:59 a.m. and that is inherent to the pattern of conduct. I am demonstrating how you are looking at what is the conduct and not the outward guise, which is what demons rely on. The environment is present because they are engaging in criminal activity, they are engaging in a targeting system, and it is showing what is the outward demonstration of demon possession. All right, it is 9:59 a.m. and that is P.O.C. All right, license plate 5XPT680. 7HZM141. CRO68 handicap 6FLK666 8XVN792 6YGF927 8RWH007 7JZK652 7SFY478 7UPF033. That's audible activity under the fake sun. 8VSH549, 7EQG327, 7HMH287, 8LXS613, 8APA752. All right, the same group stalkers sitting in their parking lot in the black Civic. This male engaging in loitering in relevant position under the fake sun, stalking. All right, and let me be clear, also remains in relevant position to the bathroom. This is a deliberate positioning that the people engage in, and he's stalking in the parking lot. State's fake son is moving north as I walk north in the parking lot to get his license plate, 6GND731, monitoring across the street at the Guadalajara. This is the same white van where, as the state's fake son is hitting the passenger side of that vehicle on the wall as he is driving north in that parking lot. Light is hitting from hitting the wall while he is driving north in the parking lot, while the fake sun is hitting the passenger side of his vehicle. 36223W1 monitoring. All right. License plate. These are all sex offenders, just like I'm stating, and they're monitoring again. Tom's #1 Burgers. They're monitoring. CRO68 handicap.
Those demon-possessed stalkers, they enter at the same time that the state is molesting with the directed light that you see that I showed all over, not only at Stater Brothers. What you're saying, the directed light that I have thoroughly demonstrated at Starbucks, the state is molesting my body with that while I'm sitting at the table at the same time that they enter. That's called demonic activity. All right, and those are malicious actors. EYELVME. Demons engage in ongoing harassment. Demons engage in ongoing terrorism. Demons are sexual perverts. That's P.O.C. It is 10:02 a.m. All right, what is the ongoing demonic activity? Just as I showed you my shadow appearing in the corner at the ceiling of this cafe as the group stalkers cross path, and you're looking at, what I am observing are their ceilings, and this is what I mean. When I'm speaking of shadows on the ceiling, she's walking across, that's crossing path, in directed light, both on the surfaces and as the state is aiming directed light horizontally through this building, which you see as shadows appear, and her shadow is appearing on the ceiling. Okay? The same place where the state is moving directed light on the ceiling as third parties, at the same time that third parties are patrolling through the drive-through, which is no reflection of any sunlight. The state is moving around light as group stalkers, demons, are driving through, stalking in the path with the state. Okay? That's P.O.C. and that's demonic activity. It's 10:05 a.m. All right, third-party group stalker engaging in terrorism. License plate 5PYY067. 8G80438. 8RWP340, I believe, in case I didn't read that one. P29050. CLW324. Tree Services, California number 490244. Monitoring. Under the fake sun, which is now over me at Hope Boulevard in San Antonio, no longer by the logo of the Starbucks building. License plate 9831542, substantially similar. 94319K1. Monitoring. 4ZWF946. Monitoring. It is 10:44 a.m. All right, dealing with demons that engage in repeating the activity as you document it. So literally what third-party group stalkers are doing as they're driving in the parking lot, the state is simultaneously shooting light through the windows of the venue, touching all over my property and all over my person. All right, and I'm taking pictures so you can see up close the faces of these demons. License 8MCX215, 7SKR843, 52208T2, 8EAB856. And the license plate of the Civic, who was also on camera, he's loitering in relevant position in a black Civic at the edge of the at the edge of the parking lot. Starting with the license plate 6GN, I believe, he is still sitting in that vehicle. Just want to be clear. Engaging in ongoing monitoring conduct and maintaining presence. License plate 5ZXV852, 6UXA327. It is 10:58 a.m. U28338. So the one that I'm taking a picture of, this male, this tall white male with a black cap on, he is pacing back and forth in front of me inside of the cafe. He is also entering the parking lot while the state is molesting me with directed light and molesting my property, which is absolutely impossible light activity. This is sexual violence and harassment by demons who are hostile to documentation. The same thing with 8MCX215, and that is the state flying over the parking lot under the fake sun at 11 a.m. This is the terrorism by the people of the state. All right, I captured video of what is the state flying over as I'm documenting the group stalkers whose pictures I'm taking while the state is engaging in that ongoing harassment. So you're talking about what is federal stalking, but in addition to that, again, the pattern of conduct is inherent to harassment. When the government is monitoring you, they are inherently engaging in harassment, but this is another level of harassment. This is a government that is harassing while it is stalking and sexually violating, and that is perpetually while that ongoing criminal act is in effect. And you are doing that in concert with the people of the state, every single last one of them engaging in a sex offense in concert with the government, a public entity. So as this incredible occurrence is ongoing, and again, Starbucks this is already implied. I'm at the venue. They're engaging in facilitation and ongoing federal stalking and terrorism. I'm documenting third parties as they are acting with the state. And so what you have is this directed light that is entering inside of the venue while third parties, and I make a video where you see the state flies over my head as I document the license plate of the group stalker whose picture I was taking, who was pacing in directed light. It's demonic activity. You're not just walking back and forth. You are in an environment that the state is maintaining while a demonic criminal pattern of conduct of federal stalking is underway. That is the outward demonstration of demon possession, all right? In addition, you are acting with the state that is molesting my person. You are a sex offender, acting in the shoes of the government, maintaining presence, all right? That's a terrorizing threat. That's sexual violence. That is harassment. That's the P.O.C. And so I do step out, make sure I recite that license plate. As I do, fake sun is over my head at 706 West Holt Boulevard. State flies over my head, amplified plane activity as the group stalker who I capture on video, communication device in hand, under the fake sun, in directed light, where the state is stalking, captured in the video. This is P.O.C, and that is also when I'm pointing out the ongoing demonic activity that the entity engages in systematically. Okay, and that's what I just captured on video right now. It's 11:03 a.m. It is 11:24 a.m. and I am referencing the security cameras. All of the minions are on cameras right now inside surrounding while the state is flashing light underneath the bars table where the bar, what do you call that? Like a countertop where the bar stools are sitting in front of me, where they are sitting at the table, all of them studying their communication devices, and the state is moving light underneath that area right in front of me. They're monitoring, and I am referencing the security cameras. It is 7CWA 135 8XBG 272. Impossible light while I'm referencing the cameras right now at 11:24 a.m. That tall African-American male, he moves the chair. That's audible activity as I walk inside. They're demons. That's how they engage in conduct. It's malicious. 8NJL 882, 8XVN 792, 7YGF 927, 8UQE 642, 8WAP 318. Read that one already. This one's stalking in the parking lot, maintaining presence, 7VWE 642, and 7P29050, 6ARL 618, 6GHE 582. And it is currently 11:25 a.m. The state's fake sun over the Ontario Police Department, as I've already established, maintaining the same central position over my head at 11:44 a.m. is the exact time, 11:25, and just like I showed yesterday, and as I have already shown, there is no sun over that Ontario Police Department like you see in my video. That's the state's light source that is present at 706 West Holt over my head, all right, right now. So let me go ahead and capture that, because that is the execution of the Ontario Police Department engaging in ongoing federal stalking and terrorism in concert with these group stalkers, while the state is repeatedly engaging in ongoing terrorism with the people, acting with Starbucks. Okay, 11:26 a.m. fake sun right over my head. In no way possible at that same central location anywhere over 2500 South Archibald Avenue, which is off the 60 freeway, 8NJL 882. In addition to that, for example, what you saw last night while the state is aiming directed light stretching from the entrance all the way to the opposite side where you see my shadow minimized on the floor while I'm sitting at the table, and you see the group stalker who gets up and walks past, his shadow is magnified all the way up to the ceiling. All right, that's called directed light, while I'm also capturing the state's fake sun while I'm sitting inside of the venue through the window.
where it is still right here. It's over the building that the state has not gone anywhere, and it's keeping its fake sun in alignment with me while I remain in that venue. But you're going to recall the state's fake sun is much more south of this location while it is in alignment with me while I'm at the 60 freeway entrance, while I'm at Economy Inn at 2301 South Euclid Avenue. Recall that. Same time frame. That's documented conduct. But you have the state that is maintaining its presence over the same exact location where I am for the duration of the day. That's the pattern of conduct. And I've already established this. While the state's fake sun is on this side of the building, meaning the entrance, where you enter in the bathroom, where there is no, first of all, light that's ever going to be sunlight that's going to reach inside of there. The state literally provided, just like it did today, like it does every single day, literally is admitting through its conduct. That's an admission, and that's legally relevant, just like any other criminal would be prosecuted, and what comes out of your mouth can be used against you. Any document where you are engaging in an admission, implied or expressed, the state is engaging in what are admissions as it engages in this conduct that I document, and it prosecutes the people as the state is engaging in admissions, okay? And engaging in that conduct that I capture on tape, that's an admission doing more and more of that which is absolutely unnatural to occur under what is circumstances of a fake sun remaining, and the documentation establishing that is showing how, for example, 2500 South Archibald Avenue, the state's fake sun is over the Ontario Police Department at 2500 South Archibald and off of the 60 freeway, after it remains in the window of the vehicle that in alignment with me through the window of the vehicle that I'm traveling in to get to that venue, while what I am stating is what you just saw yesterday and what I have continuously shown is how the state kept its fake sun over this address all day long. But it's not just the fake sun. You're looking at the light activity that the state is creating inside. And every single last one of those minions that are entering inside, they're engaging in terrorism with the state. That's how they're going to be prosecuted. That's what they're doing. Because these are demon-possessed stalkers, stalking with the state. All right, stalking with light and stalking by police, fire, ambulance, planes, and helicopters, both third-party commercial planes and its own government planes, i.e. the helicopters and those smaller government planes that I've documented. It is 11:28 a.m. Let me get this video so you can see there is no actual sun, contrary to what I captured clearly in video, both at 11:44 a.m. and then later that evening, after 4 p.m. when I'm at the Ontario Police Department, and the fake sun is clearly in its zenith, maintaining this central position. That is because the state is dragging a light source to remain over where I am. Stalking with light. It's demonic, and it is pursuant to federal stalking. All right, license plate 7WCY268 under the fake sun with amplified audible activity. 8UQE642 providing audible activity with its brake lights moving in the parking lot. Let me get this video right now. It's 11:29 a.m. All right, so I did capture video. The Ontario Fire Department engaging in federal stalking, that outward demonstration of demon possession, while they are visibly engaging in the pattern of conduct being seen in the path under the fake sun. All right, as I'm speaking to what is the impossibility of the coexistence of the light source, as I clearly capture at 11:44 a.m. at the Ontario Police Department and at 2500 South Archibald Avenue, while it is remaining over which is what I showed again yesterday, and I'm demonstrating now as I arrive, and the state's fake sun remains over this address. The ongoing direct evidence against these demon-possessed actors that are entering into this demonic environment and maintaining presence with the state, that's stalking by planes, by fire department, by police department, by AMR ambulance, and by helicopter. All right, it is 11:32 a.m. and this is being surrounded by what are psychopaths. This is the terrorism that the people of the state of California engage in while they are operating what is federal stalking. That's why you're keeping a light source over the physical address of 706 West Holt while I am here, which is not over the interests of 215 East C Street, which, by the way, I will never be able to capture as I clearly do while I am at that address at the same exact time. Okay, this is P.O.C. It's 11:32 a.m. And that was, I want to be clear, Ontario Fire Department, I documented on video. You can see they are stalking in the path under the fake sun. That is the tethering of the entire conduct. All right, it's the same thing with third parties. The environment, the directed light, and what is the ongoing stalking. The Ontario Fire Department is literally a stalker. They've been documenting heavily engaging in stalking, but they are engaging in what is federal stalking by entity, while they are monitoring with communication devices. And that's what I captured on video. It's 11:33 a.m. and that's P.O.C. 8KVY143. It is 11:35 a.m. And I believe I got this one already, 7WCY26A. All right, so I did capture, and let me show you right here. Here's the fake sun right here next to the logo. After I am inside of the venue and I'm looking at San Antonio, and the fake sun is directly over my head as I'm looking out the window. All right, let me get this demon-possessed stalker, because that's what this is. That's what the environment is speaking to. 5KFU356. I got it on video. 8SYW523. And the state's fake sun, as I captured on video, because I want you to see, as I've already shown, this is what the Ontario Police Department were doing, P.O.C. This is what the Ontario Police Department was doing while I'm at 215 East C Street, and the fake sun remained there all day long, while I'm on the side facing the side of the library, and then I go to the parking lot side of the opposite side of the library, and the state's fake sun that has been documented remaining on the side of that venue over the senior center day in and day out. The state's fake sun moves there to follow me, to remain over me while I go to the parking lot side. That is a distinctly different location of that very large building of the Ontario Open Family Community Library. And who is stalking? The demon-possessed stalker. That is the Ontario Police Department. And the state's fake sun remained at that venue all day long. That's exactly what this is doing right now with its fake sun as I enter and exit Starbucks. Engaging in ongoing directed light, which is separate from the placement of the state's fake sun. The state is aiming light inside of the venue while keeping a light source above the venue for the duration of a day. As long as I'm here, that's how long the state's fake sun will remain. The state is always aiming directed light. Okay, so you're looking at what are psychopaths in this environment, engaging in ongoing criminal activity while all of them together know that they're being documented. That speaks to the threat that the people of the state of California wage together as demon-possessed actors engaging in what is terrorism. That's how that's prosecuted. All right, it's 11:42 a.m. and what I was punctuating my point is the fact of, first of all, you will never be able to see while I'm inside. Like I said, I'm inside of the venue and I just captured the state's fake sun over the opposite side where I would not be able to capture it if I'm inside. It's supposedly over the side that's facing Guadalajara, the restaurant next door. It's in the parking lot. It's near Hope Boulevard, where over there while I'm inside of the parking lot of the Starbucks. If I enter inside of the venue of Starbucks and I'm looking towards San Antonio, I'm not going to see the sun in the window. But that's exactly what I captured, directly above me. All right, not just visible, directly above me. This is speaking to the focus of all of those demons who surround, okay? And like I said, demonic activity, demon possession is not limited to your age. You are witnessing those who are of demonic possession, who are under the age of 18, who are engaging in the same behavioral pattern. And this is informing what is, with regard to prosecution, especially minors that are monitoring with communication devices. That's in no way going to be avoiding prosecution. And adults who are engaging in criminal facilitation of sexual violence amongst minors, because you're engaging in terrorism and the criminal pattern of conduct with kids, you are a pervert, and actually you pose a danger to that minor who very well is demon possessed as well. But let me just let you know, this is how you prosecute it under the law. This is how you would treat that. You're a sex offender, you're acting as the government, you're doing so engaging in what are orgies, engaging in what is invasion of privacy by entity with minor children, which you don't have any form. You're molesting with, because this is the corporate conduct as the state is molesting with light, as the state is engaging in monitoring inside of the private space, as the state is engaging in the criminal elements monitoring while your genitalia is exposed, while they're listening to you in that bathroom together, and you do so while you're holding the hands of children. That is supposed to be directly relevant to what I'm speaking to when you're doing it with minors, because that's what they're doing, all right? And it's entirely perverted, and this is what the people of the state of California do together. There is no deviating from that pattern of conduct, whether you are over 18 or under 18. You're talking about a matter of criminal facilitation when you're prosecuting adults who want to use children as within the pattern of conduct, and you're talking about those who are under 18 who are very well monitoring with communication devices, just like any other demon-possessed stalker over the age of 18. So I just want to be clear, it's 11:45 a.m. State's fake sun remains over 706 West Hall Boulevard, which is impossible to coexist yet again. Just giving another example, as I have already demonstrated. I'm documenting what is the state facilitating venue of the Ontario Police Department. Demon-possessed agency engaging in federal stalking and ongoing criminal obstruction of justice, trying to protect the people of the state who do not have a leg to stand on. I'm prosecuting the entirety of that entity together, one by one, as they continue to engage in providing the documentation that is going to prosecute all of them together. All right. You are talking about what is the impossibility of that light source being the sun ever, while it is remaining over not only the address of 706 West Hall, but also what is maintaining that central position over me at that address at the same time. Okay. Yeah. And then later in the day as well, after 4 p.m. I'm sorry, before and after 4 p.m. while I'm at 2500 South Archibald Avenue. That's documented. That's already documentation that is published. All right, so you have what is the state remaining here, aiming light inside of the venue, all over the floor space. The state's directed light, that's the ongoing coexistence of the state's presence stalking with light, which is exactly what the state was doing at the Ontario Police Department, because federal stalking is underway and because those are demon-possessed stalkers. The Ontario Police Department, as they continue to demonstrate, by the way, in relevant position. It is 11:46 a.m. and that is P.O.C. All right, capturing another video showing you what the people of the state of California are doing systematically, and you're looking at the ongoing environment. The fake sun is present, and the state, and also that directed light is not the explanation from the fake sun. The state is keeping a fake sun over, which is a light source, all right? It is a source of light to light the environment, but that is not the explanation, and that is not how you are having directed light hitting behind, on the floor around me, onto my lap, onto my bag, onto the ceiling in the corner where you see my shadow. No, the state is aiming light in multiple directions. Group stalker with license plate 79320X2. Well, I want to get the one I captured on video, so I'm going to document the new license plates that are in the parking lot. 7CRS989 8AXX713. I'm sorry, let me read this one. I sent 7P29050. 22152S1. This Latino male is sitting inside of Starbucks while you are looking at directed light moving about while he is sitting. That's called stalking in relevant position. That's what he's doing. That's a stalker, and that's a terrorist and a sex offender. All right. The people also engaged in repeated acts of kidnapping. That is a kidnapper engaging in obstruction of justice. That's how the people of the state of California have already been documented. I'm repeatedly adding on names to that list. It is 8XVN792 and 6YGF927, and that group stalker in the white van that is crossing path enters inside of the venue. Driving a white van is 79320X2. He's stalking with activity as he drives through the parking lot. Going in to get a coffee drink is nothing but form for what is stalking. You're looking at the environment. That's exactly what I captured on video, and take a good look at that, because that's what group stalking is. That's what the people of the state of California are. They're terrorists, and you're looking at that environment, and you're witnessing what's demonic activity. That's a psychopath and a stalker. It's P.O.C. It's 11:54 a.m. All right, what you will observe in the video, I captured another video, and it is what is criminal facilitation by the third-party facilitating venue of Starbucks. An employee that is engaging in federal stalking with a patron. Both of them are third parties, okay? They are both present under what is a fake sun, a light source by the state. They are both present in relevant position in concert with the state that is stalking directly. They are both present in what is directed light as you look in the videos of both the Latino male sitting at the table and the skinny white boy, and he is standing around there. They are entirely focused on me. They're maintaining presence in directed light, okay? Their outward form is conversing in relevant position, in directed lighting. You will see, pay attention, the state is moving light all around them. That's absolutely unnatural and impossible light activity while they are maintaining presence. You're witnessing what is not only federal stalking, you're witnessing demonic activity. The state is actively monitoring through their presence. The state is actively monitoring through the activity that they are creating as they are moving around in directed light, and I've shown you that it is filling this venue. The state is always aiming directed light in multiple methods. This is why my shadow is appearing in the corner at the ceiling area. This is why the fake sun is present over this address all day long, while they are maintaining knowledge, by the way, of everything that I say and do. Right, the little skinny white boy, he was maintaining presence with his back to me, and as I start to document and speak to the fact that he is keeping his back with knowledge that I'm documenting him, he immediately turns around. That's not a coincidence. And I've also dictated this and demonstrated how third-party group stalk for your image, for your education, okay? Because I'm speaking to what is understanding what demonic activity is and what it looks like and how demons conduct themselves, trying to maintain this sense of normalcy, and it's not. First of all, the environment is telling you otherwise, and the ongoing pattern of conduct that is established is already demonstrating otherwise, but I'm showing you how they act with malice, trying to maintain what is an outward form, while they are engaging in nothing but malicious conduct with the state. Bars of light moving around behind the employee, who I'm describing as the skinny white boy. Bars of light, and it's very subtle. The state is aiming this light, and let me be clear, there is no vantage point where that light is occurring naturally at all. It's absolutely inexplicable. It's called the impossible light activity while they are present in the path. This is not a coincidence. That's the system, all right? You have the maintenance of presence while the state is aiming light. Demonic activity, this is terrorism, and this is facilitation by Starbucks, a third party, providing a venue for criminal activity, including terrorism and sexual violence. All right, and that's what you'll see in the video, both of them. The Latino male, he's sitting down, and you're looking at the light that is surrounding while he's sitting in relevant position, because that's the significance of what he is doing. He is sitting in relevant position, vicariously present on behalf of the state that is aiming its light and that is stalking directly and vicariously through his presence in directed light, which you are looking at all around as it is moving around on the walls around him. Okay, and that is also what is the outward demonstration of demon possession. So that's what you can't see on him, but that's what's wrong with him. Okay, and you have what is the employee engaging in facilitation, engaging in what is the same exact criminal elements of monitoring, in concert acting vicariously on behalf of the state under the same exact circumstances. And Starbucks is to be prosecuted as one that is a facilitator, providing a venue for the government to engage in such terrorism and federal stalking. That's how that's analyzed and broken down. They're engaging in the criminal activity with the people that are entering, systematically monitoring with the state, right? Terrorism altogether. That's the people of the state. It is 12:13 p.m. That's P.O.C. It's 12:15 p.m. Yeah, and the little group stalker that works at Starbucks, he's the one with license plate 6YGF927. That's the one I described as the skinny white boy, engaging in criminal facilitation, monitoring with patrons. P.O.C. All right, I just went on ahead and took a couple more snapshots of the employees working at Starbucks. They are, this is demon possession, okay? This is third parties, and let me show you how they are demonstrating their demon possession. They're engaging in the ongoing demonic behavioral pattern of stalking with noise. Their outward appearance is they are preparing coffee drinks. While they're doing that, they are stalking with noise. As I touch my phone, as I engage in any new movement, as I get up, boom, just like that, okay? Stalking with noise. These are demon-possessed little stalkers working at Starbucks. In directed light, the state's fake sun is over the venue where they're working. You don't have any right to be engaging in the pattern of conduct with the state, which is what they're doing. Being on the clock at a job is no form. It's no legal excuse either. This is the state system, and this is how the state monitors. Wherever it is that you work, wherever it is that you live, so that the state may systematically and constantly and ceaselessly monitor you. This is being able to break that system down and showing you how there is no maneuvering out of that prosecution. This is demon-possessed stalkers. One of them's name is Jasmine. That's the Asian female. She was here engaging in federal stalking and sexual violence and harassment and terrorism yesterday. And the rest of them are here acting pursuant to that. This is demon possession that you're witnessing. All right, it is 12:19 p.m. That's P.O.C. All right, this hooked on towing, using a commercial vehicle, you prosecute that company, you prosecute that the entity that's acting vicariously through them. 51608 Henry 2, that's hooked on towing. California number 5 560-138. License 6HNY897, 6GND731 is still stalking, loitering in relevant position, and the license plate 7XWL927, they are pacing back and forth, using their vehicle, going forward and reversing, It's demonic activity in a car, okay? It is license 8XVN792, and that's the same license plate. They're still here. 8XNU176 under the fake sun that has been here since I arrived at 9 o'clock in the morning, and remaining present. And by the way, never going to be over 2500 South Archibald Avenue while the state's fake sun remains over me here. The state's fake sun was over me at the Ontario Police Department because they're engaged in federal stalking and they are all plagued with demon possession. 7KWN238, 8XNU176, 7XPU470, and that is literally the fake sun remaining over this address, like I've literally documented already, but you're seeing the directed light over the, while I'm outside, I showed you yet another demonstration of directed light. That's inside and outside of the venue, P.O.C. All right, that's why my shadows are upright at a distance away from me. That's why my shadows are at the ceiling. That's why the state is keeping directed light on the surfaces all around. That's why the state is keeping a fake sun. That's why these demon-possessed stalkers have multiple shadows as they walk in and out. That's why as they're sitting around maintaining presence, including around the bathroom, while they maintain knowledge of what you're doing in that bathroom, that's the sex offender, engaging in the directed light around while these demon-possessed stalkers are present in that light activity. That's demonic activity. All right, that's a psychopath. All right, and it does not matter what brand you are, but you can prosecute. That's why I'm going to prosecute Starbucks and Hooked on Towing and every other company, which is nothing other than the guise under which the entity vicariously monitors with a government, which is practicing satanic conduct together. That is terrorism. All right, it's 12:39 p.m. That's P.O.C. MYC 285. 7Y81396, 7PFP192. That's them making noise as I walk to the opposite side of the building. License plate 7XPU470. I believe I might have read that one already. They're just group stalking in the drive-thru. 8XNU176. Right, it's 12:43 p.m. And I want to make sure I get this group stalker. She was crossing paths in the drive-thru. I think I got her license plate, but just in case. Hold on. Yeah, 7KWN238. Alrighty. Puritan Bakery 17485A3. Monitoring. Alright, that's why the fake sun is here. They're monitoring at Ontario Village. They're monitoring via traffic. And they are no guides for what is the directed light inside of the venue. Driving on San Antonio is never going to result in any light that I've continued to show is ongoing inside on the walls inside of this venue. That's the demonic activity, and that is expansive monitoring by the people in concert with the state. It is 12:44 p.m. All right, what I capture on video looks like ARKS. That's license plate ARKS. these third parties, you're going to pay attention to the light activity as they are walking around. This is demonic, what you're looking at. You're looking at what are people who are demon possessed. That is why I'm referring to them as demons, because that is actually what is all over them. These are demons that are engaging in what is criminal activity. 6G ND 731, creating light activity, stalking, loitering the entire time in this parking lot. All right, and that's the same sex offender that I could documented on video, stalking on what's supposedly the employee restroom. All right, he's loitering in relevant position, and now he's driving by. Again, that's 6GND 731, stalking in the parking lot for hours. 4CSC 924, and somehow he has the employee lock for the door, password for the door, which they refuse to give to me, telling me that I have to use only the left bathroom. So let me be clear with regard to what that is relevant to. That is putting me in a very specific place for purposes of federal stalking that I remain subject to, and having me make sure that ensuring that I am at a location where they can engage in the P.O.C. and reserving that location for me, where they are engaging in federal stalking with my panties down. 28502T2. What the video that I captured, let me get this license, 8GYN765, 8XVN792, I believe that's the same plate. 6FYW491, the African American male, the male that I captured on picture, he's sitting by me with directed light right in front of him on the side, okay? The direct evidence against him, and also the outward demonstration of demonic possession on him, okay? You are looking at what is patrolling. They are entering inside of the venue. You are looking at what is the shadows moving on from both sides of the, on the ground and on the building. You are looking at what is magnifying size of their shadows, and you are witnessing what is stalking with activity. They start patrolling as I begin operation of my communication device, and in addition to what is the directed light that's moving at the top area, the ceiling area of the venue, and you are looking at what is go ahead. Let me make sure I read her license plate. The heavy set female with the black spandex on that she shouldn't be wearing. While she's stalking, she enters in, and you're going to look at her shadow. It's on one side, and it is the opposite side of the group stalker that walked at the same location she is. And her shadow, not only does it switch from her right side to her left side, you're looking at what was the male that was sitting by me as he's walking. His shadow is to his right. And then you have what is the, I believe his shadow is to his left. His shadow is to his left, and then you see it upright on the wall. She enters, and her shadow is on the opposite side, and as she arrives toward that bathroom area, her shadow flips to her left side. This is directed light that they're walking in while they are patrolling. This is group stalking, first of all, and it's demonic activity, and you are also looking at what is the light that is surrounding their presence, while what are demons are just moving in and out, moving all around, monitoring on communication devices. That psychopath wearing this black spandex with a ponytail walking in is license 8GYN765. You're going to pay attention. That's why I'm taking videos, because what you're looking at is the light activity. All right, that's the direct evidence against them. The absence of any normalcy. These are stalkers, and these are demon-possessed actors. All right, engaging in what is terrorism. And that's why I captured those two videos. It's 12:58 p.m. And that is for your observation. You're witnessing demonic activity, and that is the P.O.C. I just want to make sure I get the group stalkers. They were here engaging in federal stalking and terrorism yesterday. They're here again today. 8AYV849. This is the male with the mask on. He's concentrating on his communication device. They have double shadows while they're walking out in and out. That's directed light that they're walking in while they're engaging in federal stalking with the state. Again, that's license plate 8AYV849. That's P.O.C. They are engaging in terrorism with the state. And like I was speaking to, you're also going to pay attention to not only are you looking at in these videos where you're seeing the shadows are moving from one side to the other as they are walking in the venue, they also have double shadows, especially you'll see that as they are exiting and entering. And you're also going to look at, for example, with the African American male that you see, his shadow is gigantic. It's magnified in size. And you're going to look at the simultaneity of conduct. You're looking at demons. One walks to the register and the other walks to the chair. You're looking at the shadows that they're creating. That's light activity and directed light. It's demonic what they're engaging in. One walks forward, the other walks toward the chair. Look at the shadow. One shadow moves forward, the other shadow moves back. And these are abnormally large shadows. They're in directed light. This is the demonic conduct that the people engage in. And I'm showing you what you are focusing on when you are looking at them as they engage in this demonic system. They're engaging in the criminal elements of monitoring, but you are looking at what they are actually doing while they try to maintain an outward form. You're focusing on the environment. First of all, they're under a fake sun, and they are in directed light, and everything about the light activity is speaking to the truth of it. And that's what I'm speaking to. What is to be emphasized. This is terrorism. This is designed to traumatize and freak out and scare, terrorize the ordinary target individual. I'm pointing out what are the bases upon which you prosecute an entity that is terrorizing vicariously through the people. The state is aiming this light. The people are intentionally maintaining presence in it. And they are literally engaging in systematic maintenance of presence and conduct on a constant basis, okay? And that's what you're looking at. It is 1:06 p.m., that's P.O.C. All right, let me get, hold on one second, let me turn this off. Sorry about that. Let me document these demon-possessed stalkers that enter inside of the venue. Starbucks employees making exceptional, substantial noise as they are stalking with activity, which I am also indicating in real time on the surveillance cameras. License 8KVL310. And just in case I did not already name these, you've got a group stalker in the parking lot, 8GYN765, 8XVN792, 38894 SAM1. All right, and the drive-through is maintaining presence through the drive-through. All right, these are demons that are monitoring on the run, just like they do while I'm walking down the street. They're monitoring on the run through the drive-through. Fake sun remains over them. They're maintaining presence. This is rampant demonic activity. These are psychopaths stalking with the state. Using their vehicle as light activity. These are demon-possessed actors. This is a demon-possessed stalker, 7ZUG467. That's a white female driving that vehicle. 7WDV677. Fake sun remains over the exact same parking lot at 706 West Holt at 1:14 p.m. 8NQH715. 8RRB512. And while Starbucks is engaging in terrorism and harassment, making substantial noise because it's serving a criminal purpose, all right, you are talking about they're facilitating the ability for these demon-possessed actors in the drive-through to monitor. That's why they're engaging in the ongoing behavioral pattern. They're all acting together. 8EXH648. Oh yeah, I read that one already. And group stalker exiting on surveillance camera right now at 1:14 p.m. while Starbucks is engaging in making substantial noise, banging, loud banging, okay? It's competing. I have headphones on, and it is loud in the headphones. That's how loud and that's how demonic their activity is. And this female wearing all black and with tennis shoes, she's monitoring me. She's standing in front of me while I'm sitting at the table. License 38894S1. She's driving a van, a Ford van. All right, license plate. I'm gonna get these in the drive-thru. 8SIX378. 6FVW491. Everything that Starbucks is engaging in is audible activity creation. You don't have any form. The state's pattern of conduct is underway. Even if they weren't demon-possessed stalkers who were genuinely just making coffee, as they would claim they were, it's audible activity creation. And they are engaging in the demonic behavioral pattern, period. So I just want to be clear. So there is no form. They engage in repeating that which they listen to me. They're monitoring my documentation. They are stalking through the very activity that they're engaging in. That's a psychopath. That's demon possession. 8HGG698. And I think I got this one already. She's over here closing cabinet doors in relevant position. That's stalking with noise. 8FHK618 is what I want to say. Hold on. 8EXH648. And I believe I read that one already. 6FYW491. Yeah, I read that one. All right, so they maintain noise in here. The state is maintaining light in here. They are patrolling in and out of here, and they are patrolling in the drive-thru. This is satanic, all right? Satan operating over people, and this is how they're engaging in stalking together. And it is absolutely demented conduct. Starbucks is going to be at the forefront of showing what the government is doing through the people and how it is terrorism, in direct contrast to how Starbucks is representing itself on television and media. This is a matter of public corruption, and Starbucks is at the forefront of it, engaging in not only criminal facilitation, but directly engaging in long-term documentation of sexual violence by Starbucks, of harassment, criminal summoning by Starbucks, and terrorism, all right, while federal stalking ceaselessly underway, all right? I want to get this license plate of this demon-possessed stalker. As soon as he turns the corner, this is a male wearing a black face mask, and he's wearing glasses as well. He's got on a gray t-shirt, and he's driving a blue little car, very feminine. This is a demon-possessed stalker. License plate, 8EXH648. Yeah, I was correct. I just want to make sure I got the right line. It is 1:17 p.m. All right, it is 1:41 p.m. License plate 5EKB932. That's stalking with noise, and they're stalking inside of the cafe. The state is aiming directed light all over the place while they enter in, patrolling in directed light inside of the venue, and standing in relevant position while Starbucks employees are stalking with noise. License plate 6YDL678. 6GND731, the same stalker that I caught on video stalking in the bathroom. And upon the grand display of directed light, that stalker is loitering in relevant position again. 8BZH725. And license a Texas plate P.O.C 9859. Group stalking in the parking lot. This is a short Asian male. He works at the Ontario Ovid Family Community Library is what it looks like. Looks like him, but I'm not sure. But anyway, his license plate is 8BES265, having an important meeting under the fake sun, and stalking with activity, maintaining presence while the state is aiming directed light all inside. This is an Asian male. He looks like the one that works at the Ontario Ovid Family Community Library, but I'm not sure. But that is his license plate, regardless. Okay, 8BES265, license 8M39577, license plate, yeah, PFC 9859 is who this one, 8BES265, is having a meeting with under the fake sun in the parking lot in relevant position. This is license plate 8FYS192, walking inside of the venue of Starbucks at 1:43 p.m., directed light all over inside and outside, and the fake sun remains over the entrance right here where I'm standing in front of the Starbucks. This is P.O.C, and I'm referencing the security cameras. This is P.O.C. It is 1:43 p.m. License 7VBD823. License 8T51898, 7AMW178, 6CAT621, and no front license plate on this, but what I will show you is at 1:45 p.m. fake sun remains directly over the patio area of Starbucks. All right, I did capture on video what is the state's fake sun directly over my head while I'm at 1:45 p.m. And that is since this morning, since I arrived after 9 a.m. License plate 70799G3 on video. I want to document it on my podcast as well. The license plate that I want to get is this demon-possessed stalker right here, this female under the fake sun that's remaining literally over the building of the Starbucks, 8TPA360. Impossible light activity on the passenger side of that vehicle, which is along the wall while the fake sun is above the car. That's impossible light. That's demonic activity. That's the marker of demon possession, okay? It's P.O.C. These are demons surrounding the building. Those are demons in there wearing Starbucks aprons, stalking with noise. Those are demons that are filling the space, walking in and out, sitting outside, sitting inside, maintaining presence with the state that is engaging in a demonic targeting system. It's 1:47 p.m. That's P.O.C. License 8HSX979. And Starbucks employee license 5YNL095. It's 1:53 p.m. Monitoring with third parties in the drive-thru. 8TPA360. 70799G3. Oh, here goes another one. And as I walk back toward the table where I'm sitting, flashing light, like they're taking photographs with a large camera, like CSI would with a large camera. That sort of flashing on the wall as I walk to back to the table. That's how you know what 7ABA626 is doing. Doing that with a minor child in the vehicle, group stalking in the parking lot under a fake sun and directed light on ongoing terrorism that they're participating in. It's P.O.C. It is currently 1:53 p.m. Starting. License plate 8GGF764 P.O.C. License, it is 1:54 p.m. Ongoing maintenance of audible activity and ongoing directed light. So there's multiple shadows inside of the Starbucks and also what is the directed light. Let me be clear, the state is filling this venue with different methods of directed light. This is why you have multiple shadows. This is why you have your shadows appearing at the ceiling. That's what I showed this morning. This is why I have it when I'm walking inside. My shadow is upright on the wall in front of me while I am at a distance away from it. In addition to the shadow that's appearing as light is pointing downward on me. And as the fake sun is also directly over my head, okay? This is 1:55 p.m. I'm gonna get this demon-possessed stalker who knows exactly what I'm saying. This is the reality of demonic activity as I am exposing it to you. In the same way that they know what you're doing inside of the bathroom. That's how you're going to prosecute the demonic for engaging in sexual violence as an entity, engaging in what is called invasion of privacy by entity. License 8 U.S.C 501. It's 1:55 p.m. License 8JWN874. License, this demon-possessed stalker, this is a female. She is plagued with demon possession. 93709Z1. License plate 7UGU982. 7RGA839. 8KDW525. It is 2 p.m. on the dot. This misshapen stalker, license plate 7NWX394. And I want to get this stalker whose license plate is on the back of the car. Let me go ahead. 6YFT393, 6LCS518, 3GTN608. 8VSH549, in case I didn't read that one. This is the Idaho plate, 2077904. license plate. They're maintaining presence. These are demons. They're loitering with their cars right here. 7NWX394 with a very unfortunate body shape is a stalker, and she's demon possessed as well. 6SNK420. P.O.C. Audible activity 3GT and 608. Closes the car door as I walk by, okay? Crowding around using their cars as I go to that part of the parking lot and document that stalker that's loitering in place of the other group stalker that was loitering in the black Civic, okay? Fake sun moves as I move. It's directly over my head as I go to that part of the parking lot. Demon possession. He is stalking just like the state is stalking. The environment is telling you that. And it's also telling you about demon possession. Is 2:04 p.m. license plate 7RGA839 7SVX035 8XDX537 8FKA127 6. Yeah, I read that one already. Some of these I might have read. They're going through the drive-thru and they're maintaining presence, and I'm just making sure I don't miss it. I'd rather repeat it a second time than not get it at all. I'm going to document these minions and prosecute them as a pack, just as they act as a pack. Let's see. Yeah, that's all right. All right, it is 2:05 p.m. It is 2:18 p.m. 7ZAC426. And group stalkers are still loitering in the parking lot. This is called maintaining presence. This is stalking. They have no shelter sitting in their car. They are stalking with the state, sitting in parking lot in relevant position, under a fake sun and indirected light. 6LCS518 is loitering in relevant position. Just like the stalker that I captured on video while the state moved to be over my head as I stood in front of his car at the opposite end of the freeway. I'm sorry, of the parking lot. License plate. That one's the same one. I think I have all the rest of them. Yeah, 8VSH549 is what I already documented. They exited the venue on camera right now, monitoring. And yeah, I read hers already. And license plate 8MKW838. And be clear, those group stalkers that are engaging and returning after they've been documented, this is group stalking, and they know that they're being documented. And so you'll have one that knows that they've already been, their license plate has been recited, for example, so they'll just stroll through again. And that is for purposes of the mentality behind that, is that, well, she's already documented, better that than a new face, another name. And this is also the explanation as to why you have them coming, not because Starbucks is their favorite cafe. Understand, this is federal stalking. They are monitoring. 8BXL780. All right, and the group stalker loitering in relevant position in the parking lot, I believe that is an employee that gets in the car with her. And that is also Starbucks monitoring. Or not. I don't know. Regardless, she's loitering in relevant position. And again, that license plate is 6LCS518. It is 2:19 p.m. and the state's fake sun is remaining over the parking lot of Starbucks. Okay? Just want to be clear on that. Stalking with light is that third party 7ZAC426. And again, just as I showed in video, my shadow is upright on the wall and on the ground in front of me, okay? This is directed light under a fake sun, a light source. And that's P.O.C. It's 2:20 p.m. (4756183) 15305G1. And again, the group stalkers that are on camera sitting inside of the venue, first of all, this is called surveillance. They are stalking in relevant position with the state, and an ongoing carnival of lights remains, and the fake sun remains. That's called surveillance by the people. It is also surveillance as the people are maintaining presence via the drive-thru, via coming in repeatedly. This is one entity that's maintaining presence. This is how the people of the state are engaging in surveillance with the state that is monitoring. So I just want to be clear. The demon that he's sitting with a skateboard with his back to me, that's what demons tend to do while they are stalking in the path, okay? In no way suggesting that they are not focused. The entirety of the environment is speaking to what they are actually engaging in. And demons tend to try to suggest, I'm not stalking you because my back is to you. That is heavily documented conduct. It's a passive-aggressive conduct of demon-possessed stalkers. He is maintaining presence. So is the one that is sitting by the window. License plate BR67G91, that's a paper plate. And also the group stalker that's sitting at the end of the parking lot, they're maintaining presence, okay? That's called, they are loitering in relevant position. And that is literally surveillance conduct by the people. And I want to get these that are at the drive-thru. 8MKW838, 7UYZ938, and 8VZN595. It's an ongoing delegation of presence by those who are demon possessed. That's what is characterizing this. It's a system of monitoring. This is a demonic system in operation in California, and it is prosecuted as what is the terrorism of an American citizen, as this demonic entity is monitoring systematically and ceaselessly together, okay? It is 2:23 p.m. and possible light activity appearing underneath the table that is beside the trash can by the entrance door, on this chair that is sitting right in front of me, and as I'm sitting at the table, simultaneously appearing on the table underneath the bar where the bar stools are, and also on the ceilings, okay? This is P.O.C. While you're looking out on camera, they are outwardly conducting themselves like they're focused on just drinks. The state is maintaining the environment while they are stalking with noise and stalking in the path. That is federal stalking, and that is demonic activity. That is P.O.C. It's 2:23 p.m. All right, what I captured in video is what is the ongoing group stalking conduct by the people, and what is underneath, first of all, a light source, which is the direct evidence against people, and what is directed light inside of the venue. All right, and you're looking at, literally as they walk around, their shadows are moving around them, and they have double shadows, and their shadows are magnified in size. You're paying attention to all that, which is prefacing what they are doing while they're in relevant position. 8KSZ104, 7ZLU538, I've already got that one, 21828S1, 8ROT699, 27362B1. And again, this one is using a commercial vehicle to engage in federal stalking. The original Steve's Service Air Conditioning and Heating. That company is engaging in federal stalking and terrorism and sexual violence, monitoring and molesting all over my body, having no consent whatsoever to touch me with the government. That is, again, Steve's Service, engaging in federal stalking, California license number 744873, and the license plate on this commercial vehicle used as a means of federal stalking, 21828S1, P.O.C. Stalking with light, 8KSZ104, 6JZK471, 7HIB047, 8JNV173, 8XCD430, Nevada, B350. It says LVB350. That's a different looking plate. I don't know if that's Nevada or not, but it's a unique looking plate. License plate 8HEX314. The skateboarder on video, what I'm capturing as he is pacing, that's a demon that's pacing, okay? His form is, I'm going to sit down at a different place. I'm going to go back and go get my skateboard. I'm going to go back and get my stuff. While you're looking at the light activity, first of all, he's walking in directed light, and what you'll see is his shadow is on one side of him, and you'll see it rapidly move to the front of him. He's in directed light, and the light activity changes as they pace back and forth. It's demonic activity, what you're witnessing. You're looking at the light that is surrounding what they are engaging in. And then you're also looking at what is the concentrated light that is in front of the door. Remember, the state has directed light in here at all times. Different methods of directed light. That is concentrated light that you can see. The other directed light that I show is what is manifest as you see the shadow and what's supposed to be no light there. But it is light, that's how you're seeing a shadow. And not only that, the skateboarder has more than one shadow. So these are the nuances you're paying attention to. It's demonic, okay? And then you see what is the flashing light appearing on the chair as those two group stalkers, the one with the dreads and the female with the short hair, they come and sit right in front of me where the state is aiming impossible light on that chair. The state was doing the same thing, as I pointed out in the video, underneath the bar and across all the walls. And the state is engaging in an ongoing presence of directed light all over on the inside. These are demons. This is demonic activity. These are psychopaths, and they are sex offenders, okay? That is the reality of what our demons engaging in this targeting system. And this is that which is, it's 2:42 p.m. This is that which they engage in with knowledge of their criminal activity and the reality of their psychopath issues while they are engaging in that ongoing activity. So they know everything that you're documenting about it and engaging in it, and engage in a concerted concerted act together. You have them acting with the state that is maintaining the impossible light. I have already demonstrated that the state is aiming the light. They literally provided the exposition for you. While the fake sun is over the parking lot, all right, and again, over the parking lot, I put that in air quotes because while I'm inside, the state moves its fake sun. So it is over the building while I'm inside. Well, if I go to the side of the building facing San Antonio, the state moves its fake sun to that side. If I go outside at the parking lot, the state moves its fake sun over to that area. But what I saw, based on what the state wants to posit that that's the sun, the state's fake sun is over the parking lot. But you saw bright, concentrated, directed light, flashing light. You saw their shadows moving on that wall inside of the depths of the Starbucks where the fake sun is behind, okay? So there is no, first of all, there's no way that that's going to happen anyway, even if the fake sun was over San Antonio. But you're talking about what was concentrated light that was moving, dynamic light, the ongoing presence of that light that I have continuously documented, and it's on the wall in between the two bathrooms, which is what I show, and then I step outside and the fake sun is over the parking lot, all right? That is the light that the state is aiming inside, that is keeping inside while they are stalking in the path with that state. These are demons that are acting with the state, that is engaging in ongoing criminal activity, terrorism, with knowledge of what you're documenting about it. That's the significance of every group stalker that I document by identity using their license plate. They're all engaging in that together. 7JZK471 is the overweight group stalker that I just walked out of the venue. I have little respect. I have actually disdain for what are demon-possessed stalkers. These are very demented and depraved individuals collectively that are deserving of prosecution that they shall get. And that's why you hear me describe group stalkers in the manner that I do. It's entirely deliberate while they are monitoring every word that comes out of my mouth. So they are worthy of hearing the truth about themselves while I also describe them in the most unflattering manners, but it's actually reality. So that's why you hear that. I don't have any respect for those that are the demon possession, because that's what they are, and they're also stalkers. And I have captured them in their true form. And at a juncture where this entity is convinced that it's getting away with it, that's the reality of the identity of this entity. Tracy Banks engaging in repeated acts of criminal summoning, convinced that she's going to have me kidnapped, that I'm going to be placed in a mental ward, and that that's going to be the end of the story. That's the real reality. That's the identity of Tracy Banks. That's who she is, okay? But the reality is that documentation and the fact that I am not going to remain kidnapped inside of some mental ward or inside of jail, I'm going to document it and I'm going to prosecute you for that. That's the reality. And so you have what is adapting to the situation as these demons are observing what is ongoing. Okay, but the reality is what they do. You know them by what they do, and it doesn't change just because they act nice upon documentation. The reality of who and what Tracy Banks is, and she's just an example, that's the truth, and it does not change. Okay? When I first became aware, she immediately engaged in summoning the police for no reason, trying to create a paper trail of a mental issue that doesn't exist, just like the state has. Understand, that's not a coincidence. The state engages in kidnapping and then literally use medical workers, courts, the court system engaging in creating information that doesn't exist, pursuant to a prosecution that does not exist, a fake name, all right? Making up court hearings, making up information, all right, in order to engage in the same exact conduct that Tracy Banks did with the Ontario Police Department. That's the state's pattern of conduct, that's why. And those are demons that are acting in concert, and that's the reality of who they are, okay? And it does not change because they are looking at a different juncture upon documentation. They're going to be prosecuted, and I know these demons for who they actually are. That's why I describe them in the manner that I do, and I do not have respect for the entity, all right? I'm going to prosecute them, I'm going to crush them. All right, they are perverts, and you're looking at what are sex offenders that have yet to be identified, closeted psychopaths, in other words. It is 2:46 p.m., that's P.O.C. All right, group stalkers entering in right now as I walk out. 1, 2, 3, 4 of them, all right? And I'm referencing the security cameras. I want to speak to the demonic activity, stalking with activity as this overweight Latina with a ponytail. She's got on a white sweater. She's getting inside the passenger side of 7PFV318. She enters stalking with activity. She waits to enter, all right? I had already seen her get out of her car. She waits to enter the venue of the Starbucks until I press a button on my phone. So what I'm doing is I've already uploaded my videos. Just so you know, this is the monitoring aspect. I'm going to get to what is the demonic aspect. She's monitoring. She waits until I go to a different screen in order to add the videos that I've uploaded to YouTube to the playlist. So the moment that I switch screens to go to that playlist, this is when she opens the door. That's called stalking with activity. The activity is created with simultaneous to her entrance. The state aims flashing directed light onto the bar, under the bar area, just like you saw in the video with the dreads and with the female, and that's on the chair. That's a light activity that is aimed underneath the bar while that group stalker who is demon possessed acting with the state enters in. That's called federal stalking. That's called stalking with activity, and that's a psychopath. All right. License plate 7PFB318 8NFS207. It is 2:56 p.m. 5XNH011. 5TPM 568 6KFF145. And that is what they are all doing. All of them. They are acting through the state. The government is not in Starbucks wearing all of their ninja suits, looking like outwardly engaging in surveillance. Okay, they are acting through the people, and they are engaging in corporate demonic activity as they are doing so. So they are using the venue of Starbucks to engage in criminal conduct, while they are creating an ongoing, acting pursuant to the state's creation of an ongoing terrorizing environment, because that's how that's analyzed. You want to stalk with light, you want to stalk with your presence, pursuant to what you are aware of in real time as to what the target individual is doing. You are engaging in terrorism, you're engaging in criminal facilitation of the government's terrorizing system. And that is, understand, participation in that is not coincidental, it's not accidental, it's not an ongoing coexisting of coincidences. That is not the case. The fake sun is over my head as I stand in the driveway behind 4UVT883. 4UVT883 is not only engaged in federal stalking, this is a demon-possessed individual. This is what you need to understand. This is the absence of coincidence. The same with this group stalker monitoring with a minor child, this psychopath engaging in sexual violence and terrorism with minor children with a paper plate on her Tesla. BS81G82, VIN number 5YJE1E8FMF021049. That's psychopath monitoring with minor children. So let me tell you what she's doing with minor children. She's molesting all over my body, having no consent to touch me with the state, with minor children. All right. She's engaging in terrorizing an American citizen with minor children. She is engaging in stalking by entity with minor children. Okay. That's what she's doing here while she wants to hold hands with her kids in the car. She's doing that, engaging in the state's criminal pattern of conduct. You prosecute for that. You prosecute for that. That's relevant to the harm that these very likely demon-possessed minions are engaging in as well. But you prosecute for that. BD34R72. You bring that up, that's speaking to the harm that she is inflicting while she's engaging in the state's pattern of conduct of terrorism. 7YGB043, 5TMP, I already read that one, I believe 5TPM, 6K, I think I read that one too. Let me get this one, crossing path in the parking lot, 4PRM401. That's amplified audible activity, 27362B1, and that is as I walk to the opposite end of the parking lot. That's exactly what that overweight group stalker did, stalking with activity as I switch pages on the internet. She enters in and light activity is appearing. All right, now the state doesn't need her to walk in. The state is using her as the guise under which that impossible light activity is occurring. And that's no guise. 7SLM358. That's how the people stalk and monitor engage in terrorism with the government. 7FJK511. That's the criminal cooperation. That's stopping on the side of the road, turning your hazards on while the state at the same time flies over me in a helicopter. Okay, Idaho group stalking still 2077904. 6ZEE377 just stopping right next to me, stalking in the parking lot. That's P.O.C. That's audible activity of a group stalker that knows that he's engaging in federal stalking and that he's being documented. 8XVN792. It is 3 p.m. 8 PEM 238. Where's the other license plate at? Hey, what are you reading my license plate for? It's called audible activity under the fake sun, which is under my head again 3 hours later. I'm sorry, at 3 p.m. BD34R72. Listen to this. This is an African American male, and he's on camera.
Do you know me?
Do you know me? You got a problem? Do you have a problem? Are you yelling?
Why are you looking at
Are
my
you
license
yelling?
plate? Do you know me, blood?
Are you yelling? Are you banging?
Stay your ass over there.
Or what?
Do you know
Or
me
what?
or what?
Are you yelling?
I don't know you. So stay
I don't
in your
need to know
place.
you. I'm staying in my place.
I'm
You
not
stay in
from
your place.
Ontario.
I didn't ask
Get
you where
your
you're
ass
from.
on.
Or what?
Don't be looking at my
Or what?
fucking license plate.
I read it again. I'll read it again. You've been sitting there. What was that, a
How my
bitch?
sister gonna
That was a
run your ass
bitch?
up right now.
And that's a threat? Go ahead.
You
What
got an
else?
issue?
What else?
Exactly.
What else?
Exactly.
Bitch? Was that what that was?
Yeah.
Okay, that's the one with the Idaho license plate that's been sitting in his car, and the state is flying over an airplane right now, and the fake sun is directly over. So let me get that. I did document on video. All right, I did document on video, and you heard what was the audible activity under the fake sun, which was soaring over my head. So all these group stalkers, everyone that I document, and that's just today, understand the totality of the entity is to be prosecuted for that. Coming out of the mouth of a third party or state actor, that's a prosecution of the entity. While he is engaging in a verbalizing a threat, that is audible activity that he's monitoring me to while he is voicing a threat. He's speaking on behalf of Starbucks. He's speaking on behalf of the entity that's engaging in monitoring, all of them that I'm documenting in relevant position, all of their license plates. And let me be clear, Starbucks is letting a group stalker play a loud stereo inside of the venue. That's called audible activity. You have what is, make sure I get all these license plates because they're all monitoring together. And these are demons that are hostile to the fact that they're being documented. And I'm going to prosecute for that. Because understand the way that the entity works, you're monitoring together. That's why the state flew over my head in the parking lot and the fake sun is over my head while he is uttering that audible activity, which is the vocalization of a threat by the entity. He speaks for the entity. That's Starbucks that's threatening. 8 p.m. 238. You prosecute for that. C, okay? 3TO. 5XNH011. I believe I read that one already. But the group of group stalkers, 8NFS207, they all get in that car. And 8NVC537, I believe I read these, but I just want to make sure I don't miss any. I already read them. 7SED051. Yeah. All right, that's P.O.C. And that is the documentation of a third party, and I'm dealing with what are demons who are going to be documented and who are going to be prosecuted. So as they are being captured as stalkers and sex offenders and demon-possessed actors that they are, you have what is hostility, 8SGK940. All right, that's the stalker, that is a sex offender, that is engaging in blatant stalking conduct under what is not the sun, under what is directed light, and that is acting with the state that flies over. That flies over an airplane. The state, if you pay attention to my documentation, the state has a tendency to do that. That is the direct link to what I am documenting as a third-party act. The state directly flies over, and you're looking at the fake sun in the same picture. All of it is together while he is uttering that. That's P.O.C. Every single last one of them that work at the Starbucks company, every third party that's in here, that I just documented today, but as a totality. This is a government system, and you're prosecuting the people of the state for what comes out of his mouth, and you're prosecuting the state that is operating this system and facilitating them. This is demonic activity, and I want to be clear that directed light getting taller and taller, stretching inside of the venue, that's the ongoing direct evidence as well, while what our demons are expressing hostility, that's the impermissible threat, while they are engaging in terrorism and sexual violence together. That's P.O.C. It's 3:05 p.m. All right, it is currently 3:24 p.m. and the group stalker with the skateboard that I showed you, whose shadow was moving on both sides, he had double shadows as he was pacing back and forth in the state's directed light. He is now the one that I spoke to, as Starbucks is permitting a group stalker because they're monitoring together. That's why he has a big boom box and he is playing loud music. As you see that light moving across the room. All right, there is light moving across
All right, so I just captured on video so you can see. This is the environment. So this third party added a boom box to his engagement in the criminal system, and that, as I was describing in the video, is his means of stalking with activity. As I press this, now that I'm recording, he's not doing it, but what he did was he got up, backed up in what appears to be taking a picture. Understand, he's creating activity as he's moving in the state's directed light. You see the concentrated light beside his body and what is beside the door. He is engaging in activity creation in that regard. While before I was recording, what he was doing was starting and stopping the song pursuant to what I'm doing physically on the phone. That is called stalking with activity conduct, and that's demonic, all right? And he's using music to do it. In addition, what I was also pointing out, relevant context, is that Starbucks is permitting a patron to play a boombox inside, and that is, that's P.O.C. I just want to be clear. It's 3:28 p.m., and it is... the directed light is also what I'm capturing. It's speaking to what he is doing with music. It's audible activity, all right? That's P.O.C. And I'm not just focusing on him. I'm just letting you know what is ongoing in the environment around right now. The third parties are engaging in what is patrolling in the state's directed light that's concentrated now inside of the door. Directed light remains, just like I described in my video. The state is moving directed light at all times inside of this venue since this morning. That is ongoing, and it is used as a means of stalking with activity in concert with the group stalkers. Those are demonically possessed individuals who are acting collectively to target with the state, all right, in an environment that is maintained for that criminal and terrorizing purpose. It is 3:29 p.m. All right, you have, I just want to be clear, in the video that I captured at, the title of it is 2021-0906, in other words, September 6, 2021, and the timestamp is 15:25:14. So at 3:25, this is the video where you're seeing what is the group stalker, and he's using music as stalking with activity, and he's acting. Starbucks and this third party in particular are alternating stalking conduct. They're banging stuff, and then as he stops his music, and then he'll start his music like he did right now. As I started recording, his music wasn't on. They were banging. The Starbucks employees were banging stuff, and then he starts his music the moment that I press record for my podcast. Okay, that's demonic activity. That uncanny ability of the people of the state. These are demons that are engaging in the system with the state. This is demonic activity by government that's engaging in this system. So, like, anyway, in my video at 15:25:14, that's the timestamp. You're going to see what I describe, a thin bar of light moving rapidly above this group stalker that's using a boombox. It is moving in the direction away from the entrance doors where you see the tall, impossible light. It is moving, in other words, as far as directions go, this light is moving what would be to the left. As far as north, south, east, and west, that light is it's a small bar of light that's moving above his head toward the ceiling, and it is moving in the direction south above him at the closest near the ceiling. That's impossible light activity. That's what the state is doing at all times, but this is prefacing what this demon actor is doing. This is a demon that's monitoring, and I'm showing you the ongoing environment and how that demonic activity is communicated through their conduct in concert with the state, all right? In addition, as I turn my camera to the opposite side of the cafe, you're going to see impossible light activity as I describe it. All right, this is also the demonic behavioral pattern. As I describe it, that's stopping with light. Stopping the music. That's activity creation. So as I turn my camera to the opposite side of the room, you will see the directed light, and it has what appears to be like bushes and trees appearing in it's like a large square of light. And that's impossible light. You'll see it moving across the opposite side of the room as I aim it toward the bar where the fire extinguisher area is. That's impossible light as well. You'll see it as I aim it toward that location, and with simultaneity to my describing what is impossible light. So you have, first of all, what is impossible, meaning it is never occurring by sun. It's never occurring by sunlight, no matter of reflection. Nothing that any third party is doing to create this. This is the state aiming this light. It's created by the state. It is directed light, in other words. That's how I've termed it. And then you have it also occurring with simultaneity to my describing that impossible occurrence, okay? That is the state. That is demonic activity. That is the vicarious conduct and concerted activity of the people of the state. Starbucks is nothing but a facilitator. Well, they are more than a facilitator. They're also, Starbucks is a sex offender. Starbucks is engaging in terrorizing threats as they speak out of the mouth of a group stalker that it's monitoring with. That's why he was maintaining presence at that end of the parking lot under what is a fake sun and what is absolutely impossible light. Engaging in criminal activity with them, and that's going to be attributed to Starbucks. Everything that came out of that group stalker's mouth, understand, came out of the mouth of Starbucks, okay? As well as the state. That goes without saying, but I'm prosecuting the people.
They are one entity. Understand the state's fake sun over my head while I'm at this venue, and they're acting with the state. That's Starbucks engaging in a terrorizing threat, engaging in the provision of a government's ability and the provision of the people's ability to engage in this terrorism and sexual violence together, and threatening harassment. All right, that's going towards Starbucks. And this is how you prosecute. You can literally go down, and the targeted individual is empowered with the ability to do so. And that's how policy is structured, and that is necessary as a means of prosecuting an entity that's engaging in federal stalking together. Okay, it is 3:36 p.m. and that is P.O.C. All right, I want to document Starbucks engaging in sexual molestation of my person with the state. And what I just took are a series of pictures. As the African-American male walks through the entrance door, you'll see his shadow, which is very, very tall, and directed light he's walking in. That's why his shadow is extended in height, reaching toward the bar as he walks in. As he walks to the register and then he walks toward me, right now it's 5:24 p.m., his shadow is on the ceiling while he's walking toward me. I'm taking pictures of what is the group stalker, the female that's been sitting for a prolonged period monitoring on the venue of the internet via communication devices. And as she walks by, what you'll see is she walks toward the register, and she is walking in directed light. She has a magnified size of her shadow that is moving while she walks back and forth. And what is her form? Her form is she walks to the register. She walks toward the restroom. Then she walks back and says something to them at the register, likely, oh, what is the code? And that is the form for what is pacing in directed light. Her shadow is magnified in size, and that's what I'm showing as they begin pacing around. The Starbucks employee in particular, this is a white male with curly hair. He is stalking and monitoring on the venue of the internet, and he is sitting to my right inside of the cafe. And the moment I engage in new activity on the venue of the internet, as they are monitoring what I'm uploading about Starbucks onto my website, thepatternofconduct.wordpress.com, at 5:23 p.m., this group stalker that works for Starbucks at 706 West Holt, he gets up, he's stalking with activity. And I want to be clear, there is directed light where I'm sitting. I'm currently being molested. As I raise my hand, I have a shadow that appears on the table, two shadows of my single hand, and in addition to that, I have a shadow that appears on my shirt. So I am currently being molested. Starbucks is engaging in sexual violence on a constant basis. In addition to that, while this group stalker that works for Starbucks, he walks past me stalking with activity, and what is an enlarged size shadow appears on the table as he walks by, and it is molestation with his light activity as he is stalking with light. And I want to be clear, this shadow activity is in the exact opposite direction of the shadow that I am creating as I am sitting at the table. So he is walking toward me, walking past me. He's stalking with activity. He's acting with the state. He's monitoring on the internet, and he works for Starbucks. Okay, this is Starbucks engaging in criminal activity and sexual violence because he's touching with the state. And you have what is the projection of a shadow onto the tabletop, which is magnified in size, and he is molesting me with light activity and directed light as he is monitoring what I'm doing on the internet with simultaneity to my new activity on a communication device. That female that was stalking with the Starbucks employee, both of them were sitting to my right, is now exiting. She has short black hair. She goes into the bathroom. It's 5:27 p.m. These demons start scattering and fleeing as I turn off my music that I was listening to, and I'm making a pause because I want to make a note. I'm documenting Starbucks engaging in ongoing federal stalking and terrorism because this is demonic activity. And so that curly hair top, he's an employee and he is on camera right now. He walks to the back and he is stalking with activity, and what is a shadow that is on the table, not on the ground. And not only that, it is while he is walking past me, past the table, his shadow which is speaking to the trajectory of light that is being aimed in my direction. This is speaking to the shadow that appears on my shirt when I raise my hand. That's the trajectory of light, and his shadow, it's a magnified size. It's a humongous shadow that sweeps across me as he walks by. And he is walking in directed light, and he is stalking with activity, engaging in that ongoing demonic behavioral pattern of engaging in the creation of light activity and or audible activity with simultaneity to what I am doing physically and or on the internet as they are monitoring. Okay, I want to document that's Starbucks directly engaging in more than just providing a facilitating venue, engaging in understand there's sex offenders in providing a facilitating venue. The state is molesting me inside of your venue, you're a sex offender. You're monitoring me inside of the venue that you are providing, you're a sex offender. You're molesting me with the state that is molesting me while you're monitoring with that entity, you're a sex offender, all right? And in addition to the fact that they engage in what is
ongoing surveillance while your genitalia is exposed, aware of what you are doing. This is the essence of demonic activity, and this is what the entire entity is doing at the same time. It is an expansive invasion of privacy by entity. That is what I have termed it. That is how you are prosecuting what is the demonic. Based on their criminal activity, okay? And it is terrorism. It is sexually perverted, sexually motivated terrorism and invasion of privacy on an unprecedented basis in concert with the government. I want to document, again, that is Starbucks engaging in that criminal activity, okay? That's P.O.C. It's 5:29 p.m. Group stalkers that I capture on video engaging in ongoing stalking with activity, which is also harassment in what is the state's directed light, acting with Starbucks employees and group stalkers that are systematically entering in to engage in federal stalking and sexual molestation of me together jointly with the state. That is license plate 8VXZ207, and I do capture his images in picture and in video. It is license plate 8WSR952. License plate 8JKY608. They are all under the fake sun that has remained over 706 West Holt Boulevard since before 9 o'clock this morning. And again, before that, yesterday, okay, 8AAW339, 8SOX980. And also the documented conduct of the state's activity with this fake sun is continuously changing. 8WSR952, because I think I just read that, I just want to be clear. And so what the state did before was literally keeping its fake sun on the opposite side of this parking lot while I was sitting inside. Not the movement as it's doing right now, moving from side to side. I'll get that too. 8XVN792, 7BBJ483, 7PVC337, 7FJK511. It is 5:46 p.m. Let me show you the state's fake sun that is moving to keep in alignment with me. And this is the non-movement of the state's light source. And I'm going to show you the Starbucks building, the window that I was looking out of, in order to show you what was the fake sun clearly in alignment to me of that window. And the state's fake sun is in no alignment to that position anymore. It is in the alley in alignment with me. If it was over anywhere in this direction, I would have been pointing my phone over there. And what is also ongoing confirmation of every third party that I'm documenting, including Starbucks, as the state flies over in a plane. That's amplified audibility. That is Delta Airlines. All right, I did capture that video of Delta Airlines engaging in terrorism, group stalkers. This is the demon-possessed stalker, 7PVC337. State's fake sun in alignment to me as I stand in front of her car. This is the demon-possessed stalker, 7BBJ483. That's a female. It is currently 5 p.m. And that is the state's fake sun remaining over third-party facilitating venue, Starbucks, engaging in what is the pattern of conduct of terrorizing threats, speaking for Starbucks as that African-American male is monitoring with Starbucks, okay? Under the same fake sun, in the same directed light, under the same stalking conduct of the state via plane and helicopter, paper plate BS70J98, license plate 8SOX980. And I want to be clear, Delta Airlines engaging in what is the communication of a terrorizing threat, not only by stalking via aircraft in concert and vicariously on behalf of the state, but by engaging in the state's criminal pattern of conduct. And the people of the state, that's what Delta Airlines represents, the vicarious actor, the mask behind which the state is engaging in this system, engaged in making a terrorizing verbalized threat to me, which I captured on video. So understand the implications of the state's criminal pattern of conduct. Delta Airlines engaging in that terrorizing violence today that I captured on video under the fake sun while another plane was used
But you're talking about the third parties altogether. They're one entity acting together. And Delta Airlines, as I've already documented, it's one entity. I'm just showing you this is how you're prosecuting. Everything that they say, they're saying it together. They're acting together. They kidnap together. They sexually molest and violate and surveil the exposure of your genitalia, what you're doing in the bathroom together. They engage in stalking together. License, let me get this license plate. 8SWK225, 8AAW339, and 8JSZ704. Just to be sure, they're surrounding the building in relevant position. It is 5:50 p.m. Let me try it. It is 7:11 p.m. 8 VPL 191. Eight NYS 321. Eight LGB 658-010YJ. That's a handicap plate. 8 WSR 952. 8 NUE 231. That's the one. 8 LPZ 281. Oh, there. That is it. And BSO6 M39. That's a directed light hitting the building as what is the form of their headlights. It's the same stage directed lights P.O.C. It's 7:11 p.m. at Starbucks. P.O.C. And again, as I walk in, my shadow is on both sides of me. So this is the state's directed light, present inside of the venue, remaining inside of the venue, as it did all day long, with the fake sun present, and as the fake sun then disappears after remaining present over the venue all day long. 7:12 p.m. It's P.O.C. License plate 5WRJ649, 8EGT616, 6BZV164, 4WON432, 7UIN191, 7JYE564, 8VFH925, K772VO. And I just took a picture of this license plate, crossing path as the state is flying over this parking lot. I'm going to get his license plate. I'll recite it on my podcast. 5S27222. License 08525D1 touching. License plate. Yeah, this is an old white man he's touching while he's monitoring with the state. 8IVY588. $8FOA821. I am at the plaza of the Super Clean Laundry, Dollar Tree, El Super. All right, where the state's fake sun is directly over me at this venue, where the state engaged in keeping its fake sun over this laundromat and aiming it inside of the Dollar Tree, directed light inside of the Dollar Tree, just like you see at Starbucks today. The same pattern of conduct. As I left Starbucks, state flying over this parking lot. 7NUF445. That is the hallmark. 8SFX892. The pattern of conduct is already established, though. You can literally document everywhere that you go because you remain subject to that criminal system. License plate 6M33813. 8J75075, 8NJW366, 7HOE508. State is amplifying the sound of plane engines. 5KSB530, 6T95768, 4JTU421, 4MED094, 8WIG394. Group stalking sitting in their car, 8UQY272. Group stalking sitting in their car, 18148W2. License 7RNY247. Group stalking, creating light activity. This is stalking with light because the state's pattern of conduct is underway. They're stalking with light via the Jack in a Box drive-thru. Okay, let me give you one of those license plates. 6M38813, I believe. 6M33813. I can't really say the word. And this is the paper plate BM08A65. This is license plate 6M. Yeah, 33813. That is audible activity of a group stalker who is monitoring, and they engage in passive aggressive conduct, telling someone else that they're going to fuck them up. But it's audible activity that they are. This is how demons conduct themselves. While this group stalker is aiming her headlights on me, 8RVM205. Those are demons. Okay. So in relevant position, where the state's pattern of conduct is underway, saying something which is audible activity, serving to monitor, which is what this is. This is a passive-aggressive conduct of what are demons who are monitoring, yelling out loud, "I will fuck you up," okay? Excuse my language, but that's the audible activity, and that's the same threat. That's attributed to the entire entity, okay? These are demons, and so you're recognizing the symbolic threatening conduct that they engage in addition to those overt acts of aggression, like I documented today by the African-American at Starbucks, 7KXE693. And these group stalkers are affiliated with 3KAL191. Those are the ones verbalizing that threat. And that's audible activity to monitor. And the targeted individual is reasonably construing that as a direct threat while they're being monitored by the state. So you're dealing with what are demons, okay? So this is the context. These are psychopaths who know that they're being documented and engage in what is passive-aggressive stalking and audible activity, acting like they're talking to someone else. When they're talking to you, they're monitoring you, okay? License plate, 5RLJ115. Under any circumstances, under all circumstances, is audible activity, threatening audible activity on behalf of the government. All right, so you are not talking to anybody else. You're talking to the target individual who's being monitored, and that is P.O.C. It's 7:25 p.m. And that is a white female. Again, they will be on surveillance cameras of the Jack in the Box. JAN055 6SPH 808. This is Super Clean Laundry. They're monitoring 7LLM 332. 7:42 p.m.
All right, I am at third-party facilitating venue Super Clean Laundry, located in the same plaza of the Dollar Tree, the Jack in the Box, where I was documenting as the state flies over an airplane, and also amplified plane engines. This is the same plaza, and I have documented this venue before. I want to specifically document what is bathroom monitoring. That is the sexually violent pattern of conduct, and that is engaging in affirmative conduct to monitor inside of a private space. While you are inside of that private space, engaging in any private activity and or physically indisposed. And this is the pattern of conduct that is underway, and they are engaging in federal stalking. And so what you have is grouping around the door as I am inside, and also maintaining awareness of what I am doing. This is the reality of what is occurring while I'm subject to monitoring, and third parties are grouping around the bathroom door and creating audible activity, knocking on the door as they are monitoring. All right, and so this is P.O.C, and I want to document that sexual violence at this third party facilitating venue. It's currently 8:09 p.m. That's P.O.C. Currently 9:32 p.m. 7LBY062, and again, this one that has their headlights on, they're monitoring with the Ontario Police, who are again in relevant position, just like I documented on last night at 150 East Holt, and yesterday during the day under the fake sun at Holt Boulevard. 6CRJ010, 8EKS725. 8BTJ347, 7UJU179, 8FNW051, 62703M1, 7KJL046, 5AWL557. And that is Ontario Police loitering in relevant position on Mountain Avenue, monitoring at Super Clean Laundry, 8XLN617. And what I stated was, let me get this, BLGG871. What I stated, and again, license plate 4WON432. She's monitoring me inside of Super Clean Laundry. Ontario Police is engaging in sexual violence. They are monitoring. This is demonic activity. Understand, monitoring while I'm physically indisposed in the restroom, providing light activity for that sexual violence to be engaged in by third parties who are surrounding me inside of the venue. Right now, my shadow is on both my left and right side as I'm in the parking lot, and the Ontario Police are using their vehicles for federal stalking. And this is demonic activity, all right? Also, like I documented, Super Clean engaging in affirmative conduct of monitoring while I'm inside of that private space, physically indisposed, which they are aware of. These are demons that are engaging in sexually violent pattern of conduct of federal stalking, and Ontario Police engaging in not only what is sexual violence, but facilitation of that sexual violence while they are stalking on Mountain Avenue and using their vehicles again as light activity.
Tracy Banks hollering, that's audible activity. My shadow surrounds me, and that's also harassment as she's monitoring, and it's hostile to documentation. It is 9:34 p.m. 8 MGF 682. 8 SRJ 462, 4 XTA 987, 7 LZC 966, 7 JYY 251, 8 RCV 676. It's 9:37 p.m. 7 KWE 806. A group stalker molests with light as they enter the parking lot of the Taco Bell and covers up the license plate on an old Toyota Camry. They're one entity, so that license plate is supplementing for that identity. They're one actor. It is 9:47 p.m. 8 WOE 641. Excuse me, crunching on ice. So I want to be clear, directed light is inside of the vehicle, all right? And again, as third parties cross paths using their vehicles, the state is molesting with directed light. The third parties, the people acting in concert with the state, that is repeatedly molesting with light, and that is as third parties cross paths. 8 JZH 648, I believe. 7. Oh, I can't really see that one. So that was the Ontario Police engaging in federal group stalking and criminal facilitation of group stalking in concert with the people, as I am inside of third-party facilitating venue Super Clean Laundry. That is while the state is engaging in and the state acting via the Ontario Police. That's the state acting directly. They are using their vehicles as light activity. This is the ongoing conduct that I've been capturing of the Ontario Police Department. Again, these are demon possessed. This is a demon-possessed agency engaging in federal stalking and engaging in this conduct as they are monitoring the documentation. That's not a question. That's going to go toward their prosecution. It's not a question what I'm documenting. It will all come together, and that is going toward their prosecution. Those are psychopaths engaging in that. And they are in position at Mountain Avenue, loitering in relevant position as I am being molested in directed light. As I stand in the parking lot, my shadow's on both sides, my left and my right. All right. And I want to clarify, the Ontario Police are engaging in what is sexual violence. I'm in the restroom and I'm being monitored by the people. The people are acting in concert with the police. They're one entity. It's the state acting directly and the state acting vicariously. So as Super Clean Laundry, the venue that is monitoring in concert with the state, they are engaging in affirmative conduct of monitoring inside of that private space, engaging in audible activity creation, crowding around the door, which is relevant positioning, as, by the way, they are always in relevant position while you're in the bathroom inside of that venue. This is the inherent sexual violence while you're monitoring and inside of a private space. And maintaining, it's also maintenance of real-time knowledge of what you're doing in that private space. That is that demonic feature. That is inherent to the pattern of conduct. The state is not stopping surveillance while you go inside of the bathroom and while your genitalia is exposed. Okay, it is ongoing, and that is sexual violence by an entity. Okay, they are engaging in that together. And Ontario Police loitering in relevant position. Understand that's exactly what I was talking about. They are sex offenders and engaging in facilitation of that sexual violence as they are stalking on Mountain Avenue near the Chase Bank, the 7-Eleven that's on Mountain Avenue, and the United States Post Office. They're at that area, which is in relevant position in alignment to the Super Clean, to where I am inside of the Super Clean Laundry, all right? And maintaining what is light activity in order that the people can more effectively engage in federal stalking with communication devices. It is 9:51 p.m., and that is P.O.C. Seven RSV 901, 5BAZ 446. Monitoring with Amtrak, who's turning onto Lemon from Hope Boulevard. And this group stalker in 5VAZ 446 just stops in the middle of the street. That's stalking with light. This is a white female. And the state is flying over it by aircraft. Okay? This is P.O.C. All right, I did capture the video. The state flies right in front of me while that group stalker in that BMW, whether or not that's her car, whether or not she put on a fake license plate, that is going to be attributed to, I have captured her image, and you document whatever information you have. Not only are you documenting you're documenting an entity, but you are going to use, for example, say a group stalker drives their cousin's car in order to avoid themselves being, guess who's going to be prosecuted? Whoever's in possession of that car. Okay, you document whatever information you have in the same way that the entity engages in using their commercial vehicles, such as Amtrak, who was also engaging in that documented act of terrorism while the state is flying in front of me, and that group stalker in her private vehicle stops in front of me using her brake lights, her headlights, stalking with light, and Amtrak turns in front of me using that commercial vehicle to act in concert with the state and that third party. All right, that's terrorism that Amtrak engaged in, and that is criminal facilitation by Amtrak, using not only the train tracks, but also their Amtrak buses in order to engage in federal stalking. All right, so that's what I documented on my podcast, and I also captured video of that. Amtrak, the bus, loitering in relevant position on Emporia, facing east, and now you're hearing that is audible activity of a train, while Amtrak is in a relevant position monitoring me to the sound of audible activity of a train. This is literally Amtrak engaging in P.O.C, where their Amtrak trains are not actually on the tracks. The state uses random trains patrolling back and forth. So Amtrak arrives on a bus monitoring me to the sound of a train at its own train tracks. That's what's ongoing. That's literally the breakdown of what Amtrak just engaged in. As the state flies over my head and flies over in direct alignment to me at the same time that this group stalker stops in front of me, and Amtrak drives in front, turning onto Lemon to go to at 10:58 p.m. in the middle of the night to go to a bus stop. I'm sorry, to go to Emporia, where Amtrak is not in service for commercial services. That is blatant stalking conduct. And understand, even if they had an active bus line or a train line, understand it's the same criminal pattern of conduct. And I am surrounded by 4 shadows right now. So that is terrorism, as is always the case with the use of that train. But this is Amtrak going out of its way to use its name in my face, the communication of a threat, while it is aware of the documentation about the state's criminal pattern of conduct and the identification of that specific actor, engaging in that demonic behavioral pattern as well, arriving and communicating a threat with the intent to terrorize with the state that is flying over, that is engaged in ongoing stalking with the people who are engaging in stalking in concert with that entity. All right, the state is flying over now the museum right here where I'm standing, and I am surrounded by my shadow. It is 11 p.m. Speaking to exactly what Amtrak we're engaging in, as I documented, the pattern of conduct is ongoing. Okay, it is 11:01 p.m. and that is P.O.C.